I know.
Hello.
And we're here and we're live.
I can follow directions.
There we go. Now I'm going to go see how it sounds. All right, keep going.
All right,
Interesting.
back to you now.
Your wife really didn't like it. Did she give any reasons, Comic Web? Or there's a particular reasons why she really didn't like it?
Because he was with her.
Probably.
I'm sorry, Brian. Brian was good.
For someone that saw the movie twice, I get that ref. I understand why.
I'm serving her papers on Monday.
I understand. It's a I will give you this much without giving away anything. It is a Silver Age style movie, and Silver Age is not for everybody.
Okay.
Especially coming out of Snyderverse.
So
watch your mouth. People mention
I'm not
saying recently.
I'm not saying this. Community. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying. But Mark, would you agree it's a very Silver Age style movie in the way he was putting it together, as opposed to Snyderverse?
Yeah.
I think the audio is still messed up.
Undeniably better. Undeniably better with the audio on my end so far. I think
a second ago it was really bad.
Yeah, but earlier we couldn't hear it on here, but I was listening on the phone trying to fix it. And it was bad on the phone. Like,
okay,
yeah. If we're hearing it on here, it's typically something that we can address and fix. But the audio is bad on the YouTube end. That's something I have to try to figure out.
Yeah. So that seems fair.
It was definitely more Silver Agey.
I know that it's a concern. Brian was saying like there's too much going on. I know that's a concern for me going into the movie. Was when they start talking about having so many different characters showing up in the movie, it becomes a concern that you go, man, I hope they do this well. They manage, not saying that it can't be done, just it becomes a concern that you go, if you introduce too many characters, and for people who may not be deeply into the lore or whatever, how you introduce those characters to get them to be able to move forward.
How did you feel about the Black Adam movie that brought in Black Adam and the JSA all into one movie? Like, not like, and like general audiences tend to talk negatively of that kind of stuff. Comic book fans tend to not care because you have experience with the character.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, and that's where sometimes I get concerned whenever I see a large ensemble like that hasn't been built up or that aren't super.
We talked about it a lot going into this. There's this internet amnesia that happens. Countless examples of people putting some negative strikes against a movie for too many characters, but the blind hype going into this, people just don't care. They're just ready to like it. I love the JSA and Black Adam. I didn't feel like they were rushed or anything.
No, I don't think they were rushed either.
Never felt like they were the primary characters, so there was no reason for them to be any more fleshed out than they were, which they were. You had these little moments so that you had enough character context. You don't have their entire life story. Yeah. But like when
you didn't have to have full-blown origin stories.
Yeah, like when Dr. Fate was talking with Hawkman on the Hawkjet before going into that final fight, they were like, we've been at this for 100 years, my friend. Like, you're getting the context that you need for this story. And that's what matters.
Yeah, no, and that's all I'm saying is like when he was saying that she thought it was too busy, I said, that is a concern that that comes to my mind whenever I see a movie that has a large number of characters.
Always,
It's like, I was like, oh, okay, well, it can be done and it can be done well. It's just, but then there's times where it also has been train wrecks in the past, and so that's all.
Yeah.
The only non-spoiler thing I would prepare anyone for with this movie is something that going into it, but I would definitely try to remind yourself of. They said obviously they didn't want to do an origin. Obviously they wanted to just insert this film into the existing universe so that it already is rolling, which again, that's an internet amnesia thing. They didn't like that then when they did that previously in franchises. But to me, this movie felt like the second installment in a franchise, which to me didn't necessarily make it better or worse. I'm wildly familiar with the content of this movie, with the characters, their backstories, the way you would expect them to interact with all these things I'm already preset with. So that's a me experience, but some people, it might feel a little odd for going into the first installment of the new DCU and feeling like you're in part 2.
Yeah, so there's the other thing I'll say. Not a single individual is introduced in this movie. They're just there.
Well, that's a spoiler.
Well, that's true.
I'm just kidding. I didn't
It's
say
true.
it wasn't true.
They're
I
just
didn't say
there.
they were.
They're literally just there. It's like, because this is a slight spoiler. Right when the movie opens, he explaining 300 years, 30 years, something like that.
You get some words on the screen.
You get captions explaining what's going on.
Scroll, just like you get a scroll in Star Wars, you get a DCU scroll, which is cool. I like that because not only did it set the stage, it gave me so many questions and wanting to know more about potential past stuff. Like, because with the, if you're a DC timeline person,
but there is
it didn't start with a certain character that fell to Earth in the 1800s. Like, I'm like, I wonder what the past is. Like, if you get a history of the DC universe for the DCU, I wonder what it looks like. I'd be curious and interested.
Mark, you're gonna be excited to know that Justin Bieber has just dropped a new album.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Lady Fantastic.
I've been
there's a
waiting
question
forever.
for you.
I know, same. What?
It's a question for you. It says, Lady and Madam, how did you guys like meeting Chris Claremont?
Freaking changed my life.
In what way?
I learned who my real father was.
Nice.
No,
He does have a little bit of your dry humor. I'll admit to that much.
well, he's
Definitely a grandpa.
I told Madam, I was like, we got to go see him, and I need you to dress up as White Queen because I'm going to use you as my bait.
You honeypotted, Matt.
I was like, I'm going to use you as my bait to get what I want. The people are just pawns in my life. I got to understand. She was but a pawn, the poor thing. And
For
like
the whole weekend, apparently.
for the whole weekend. And we were in line or whatever, and a guy comes walking back, and it looks just fucking like Chris Claremont. And he goes and he goes by Madam, and he was like, "Hello, Emma Frost," like with a little fight. And I was like, I think that was Chris Claremont. That was. I think that was. I'm pretty sure that was Chris. Was that Chris
Because
McClure?
we're so far back in the
That's
line.
the same thing that we did at breakfast. That Rob, remember?
And then I was like, that
Is
was
it
Chris
Starling? Is it Claremont?
Oh, that's last year.
Yeah.
Starling.
So that wasn't this year. I know that much.
No,
But,
it was last year.
Then like we see Matt's Heroes for Hire, and like we were standing in line for a couple hours, and he was like, I'll go get some waters for you. But like he showed us pictures because he had been there earlier, and it was the same fucking guy. It was Chris Claremont. He had fucking stopped by and he said, hey, to fucking Madam, because I baited that motherfucker. No, and like then we went up there, and I was just like, man, I was like, I became a biochemist because of you, like, and he was like, oh my God. No, he didn't say that. He was like, really?
No, he wouldn't.
And I was like, man, I got into mutants, and I kind of took it all the way. Like, what does it really mean? And I was like, yeah, dude. And I just told him, thanks for telling, the good stories that, told us like what's the way you should treat people. I just fucking loved it. And he was nice to Madam, and he asked Madam for a picture, and then she's on Chris Claremont's. She's on Chris Claremont's fucking site. He posted it like him with fans or whatever. But like it was funny because the guys in front of us, they were like asking Chris Claremont. They were like, hey, will you do like a dap with us? Like get a picture of us like dab, or something. And he was like, no, I just got better with COVID. He's like, I no, I don't want to, as he like eats his grapes or whatever. And then like he sees Madam, and he's like, hey, can I get a picture? And like, just like her titties like smashed right into his chest, and he's just like, and it's so funny. I fucking loved it, dude. He was a big kid. But,
It was great.
And then Madam was on the news, local
And
news.
Madam was on the
I guess I was
news.
on the news too, yeah.
And then Madam was
Along
on
with
the
Chris, along with Christina.
Yes.
So, and Chris Claremont signed my X-Men 129, first Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde. So I was just like, my inner child was fucking glowing that weekend. My
That's
inner
awesome.
child was on fuego, and I loved
I
it.
have a picture of Lady Fantastic after she got this meeting and after she got stuff signed. She went into a hallway.
Oh no, I
She
looked
just-
dead.
She just collapsed with all her stuff that he had just signed, and she was just like in a moment of awe, just like taking it all in.
I was
like,
holding
just
that
met Chris
poster that he
Claremont.
got signed of X-Men 137, and I was like, oh my god.
This is the best picture.
Yeah, it was good. And like, I thought John Romita Jr. was funny. He was a goober. And like, Art Adams played a trick on me that was really funny. And Amanda Connor was so cool and had such good stories. Adam Hughes is just like a real, like, kind of shy, but like playful big kid. Like, Greg Land's a little more silent, but really kind and generous. Like, Gene Ha is so sweet and just like, all of these people, freaking Larry Welts is just like a dirty old hippie man, and he's just so funny.
That's
like,
the dude that Scotty Vaughn did the
Yes.
video of.
I
Yeah.
went to Larry Welts's booth every single day because he was so funny. Like, and him and his wife just being like kind of dirty hippies, like telling nasty jokes and stuff. I was like, man, this is great.
I would say a lot of the artists that I was interacting with for the for all my commissions and whatnot. The one that surprised me the most really was Joe Staton.
Really?
I mean, he was just amazing. Obviously he's a legend, and talking to him and stuff is great. But the way that it was kind of the project, right? Because and this is the thing I like about doing commissions. Sometimes it's not just talking about what you've done in your past or what you're working on now. It's the the project that you put together. And if you find something that strikes their chord, and for him, I gave him a lot of leeway. I gave him his choice of characters, when it came to JSA and whatnot. And when he was like, oh, can I do Dr. Fate? Yes, you can. Can I have magic shooting out of his fingers? You most certainly may, sir. And then
It's a collaboration. Then it makes you feel like you're part of that.
Right. Well, then when he comes up with these guys, he's like, when I go there to get the book, he's like, he tells me, you got to take a picture of me handing him this book. This is great. And he's like so excited to hand over the piece of work. And he's like, oh, you got so much out of this, more than I want. Cause I had so much fun with it, and it's hilarious because he's about your height, Lady F. And he's just like, so
that's awesome.
So
man.
exciting. So that was fun. I mean, and obviously I enjoyed the hell. I was, Stephanie Levod, who I've built a great relationship with thanks to Comics Curing Cancer. She's always a riot and a fun one to hang out with. As was, I didn't have as many interactions this year, but a couple interactions real quick with Trish Forstner that went really. Yeah, she was awesome as well.
She's super cool. I didn't get to see her this year, but like I've been on she's been on our interview channel, Not Near Mint, and I've been on a couple of other streams after that with her, and I'll interact with her on like Insta. She's really down to earth.
She got stuck kind of like over
Next
by
to
the
CGC?
CGC. Yeah, she was over by the CGC area. Yeah,
that's what I heard, and I didn't spend much time over there. It was kind of over there by the concession stand stuff.
Yeah, but then she was supposed to be like there was a whole bunch of tables that were done up on the very last row, tables where you got to the concessions and the stage and stuff, that she was supposed to be in there, and then they moved her a little bit, so she was actually like across from like Ron Lim. If it was like on a corner.
I wanted to see for him, but I just didn't have enough time.
And then like there was an aisle, and she was just kind of like this random like extra artist off to the side almost. Like it's like, oh, that's sad. But she was still in the main walkway. She was at the crossing of two aisles, so she got some traffic, which is good.
Gene Ha was a really great one. I really loved Gene Ha.
Yeah, I didn't go talk to him there, mostly because Gene Ha he comes out to my LCS out here fairly regularly.
Yeah, then
so it's like
get that anytime. I
Yeah.
I just, and I really didn't have any time to look through books really at all because
Mhm.
I was on a mission. Like what I did was I brought my stack of books. I looked through the thing of the artists I wanted to see. I brought my stack of books of the art that I wanted to get signed. And then I numbered like the name. I put a piece of tape on every comic, painter's tape, the artist and the booth that they were at.
Smart.
And
Yeah,
systematically knocked it out.
Yeah, I think I had mine all into a Google sheet, obviously, but it was all listed out in numerical order based on booth location, so I could move from one to the next. And
Yeah, it wasn't perfect because some would be not there. They'd be, but you'd have to circle back. But for the most part, it was really efficient. But then the rest of the time, I was socializing.
Yeah.
I was wanting to talk to people and just be goofy. Like, oh, he was. That's cool. I loved Ron Lim's on like Silver Surfer stuff. I actually brought because I brought a book for Ron Lim, but I just didn't get the time to see him. But it was the amalgam DC Silver Surfer and Superman.
nice.
One.
I had Ron Lim. I did my stuff with him. I had tried to get him previously at Heroes Con, like I think last year. But last year he was when I went there, he was really backed up. And then this year, I went to WinterCon, and he was there at WinterCon, and I was able to go walk right up to him, no problem. Had him sign my X-Men 2099 #1.
Yeah, and most artists here, if they charge anything, because a good bit of them, I met Don Rosa, the Scrooge McDuck guy. He a lot of them there signed for free, or the first few for free, and then the range generally was about $10-15, and then there was one anomaly, which is JR. He was charging 30, but it's like I had to get my first Monica Rambeau signed.
I've been all JR $30. Who do you think you are, your dad?
He does. And the actual cover I got him to sign was one he did with his dad. And I told him,
you might sign in for your dad while you're at it.
Yeah, well, I actually told him,
your dad's signature.
I was just like, I really appreciate what you and your pops have done for this. And he's like,
Mostly.
That's what he said.
He said, "Remember?"
Yeah.
Don't bring up my dad. I
But
live in
you
the
know,
shadow every day.
Well, remember his dad just recently passed
was
away
crazy
within the
high.
last
It was
year,
the
so I
highest
can
one
see
there.
that.
It was like the week before Heroes Con last year.
Yeah, so it's like it's been a year.
Because he was scheduled to be at Heroes last year, and he ended up canceling towards the last minute because his dad had passed away. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand him getting. Yeah, he probably felt it like, oh,
$30
thank
per
you.
Yeah,
It
man.
is.
Who does he think he is? Rob Liefeld? Jesus.
Like the
Christ.
next highest,
Yeah,
I'm
life
pretty
feels
sure
like
was
that
like
too.
$15.
Yeah.
Like, and I liked Don Rosa's answer because I showed him. I gave him a book that Justin Birch actually gifted it to me, and it was like a Scrooge versus Donald or something, or Scrooge versus his uncle, the one from Scotland, and
Sure.
yeah, and he was just like, I was like, do you mind signing my book? And he was like, of course. And he was like, and anybody that he's like, I will sign your book for free. I sign every, fan that presents me with their book for free. Now, if you want to buy something from me, that's another thing, and I'll sign it. But if you bring me something, I will sign it for free. And any other artist that doesn't do that is wrong here. And I was like, oh shit, Don Rosa, you tell him. He was like, no, he was grandstanding.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, Don Rosa's old school. That's why. That's an old school mentality.
I liked it, and he kind of has the Scrooge haircut. It just kind of like fluffs out.
So.
Okay, this is me and Chris Claremont.
I knew it was him.
I saw that picture on his actual social media account.
Yeah, he has it.
It would have been great if the name behind would have actually said John Byrne.
I know, and this is Lady Fantastic after meeting our hero.
Stop.
Orgasmic bliss.
That's all I said.
It is interesting because hearing you guys say those things, it's like brings me back in the day when I would get like that. Now I don't get like that anymore because I've done so many shows in my time that I've seen these guys normally.
It's my first really big con.
Yeah,
There's
so
I'm about to say there's
me
a
too.
difference between the first, and it isn't just any creator. It's that
Yeah.
first time getting to meet that special
Biggies.
creator for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's going to be different. I mean, and then you get to the point where you're just like Izzy with Howard Chaykin eating ice cream together, which still is
Like if
that
I'm
was still one of my coolest comic creator meetup memories. It doesn't just involve me and that creator. Like Izzy is a legitimately amazing friend, and last year he was helping me out trying to spot the creators and their lines. And when they get short, he'd come back and let me know. Then he'd take. I had no clue where they were because I was at the booth, and we went over to meet Howard Chaykin, and the conversation. Like I was excited to meet him, talk to him.
Chaykin is a wild man.
It instantly devolved into artesian ice cream at a spot that is near where Izzy is. And the conversation ends with Chaykin telling Izzy, like, yeah, hit me up. We'll get some ice cream.
yeah, that was like the following week or something like that.
Forward 6 days, I get a video message from Howard Chaykin in my DMs eating the ice cream. We told you it was good. You should have been here with us. And Izzy popping up. It is good. I'm like, this is insane. This is insane.
Yeah, that's what I love with some of those relationships you can build. Like this is the first time, like for me, where I had this the other day. An artist I've built a relationship with doing commissions and through C3 stuff that pinged me the other day, said, "Oh, hey, I just found out I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con. Are you coming to San Diego Comic-Con? I'd love to meet up with you while you're there." And I'm like, "Oh,
No.
actually, I don't."
Guess I'm buying a ticket now.
Appreciate that. I want to pause real quick. I just want to call out something here. So, Comics Curing Cancer, of course, the website comicscuringcancer.org. You do see that, of course, right now we're sitting and we did get over 10,000, but it turns out I got an email last night from my liaison. Apparently, this number doesn't reflect the money that was paid to us via the PayPal stuff. So they're going to be updating this. Apparently, we're closer to $13,000 now because it was another $2,600.
How do we track the PayPal stuff, or is it getting updated where it'll
She's going to update it on the back end, and we're talking about that. I didn't realize it wasn't part of the meter, the automatic meter, because it was an add-on functionality they gave us because I told them we needed to have the PayPal payments
for our international people and our
right. So they're still
plan people.
Right. Yeah, they're still figuring it out. Anyways, so that's going on. That's good news. Of course, obviously, here you can also link to go get yourself that art book. There are still some copies available of the art book. If you haven't picked one up yet, go ahead and grab one of those. But the Crow Dead Time #1, the exclusive, the 150 copies we have, that book is now available and shipping. So you can go ahead and get yourself a copy of that. But if you go up here to the top and you click on items, right now running for this week, we do have our auction running right now for another 9 days remaining. You can get yourself one of these 2 Poison Ivy sketch covers. One of them Madam Blaster created. Right now, bidding is at just $25 for that one. And Eddie the Comic Guy is currently at $43. So great sketch covers. Help us test out our new auction platform because we're hoping to find a way to utilize this during the October event for some of our big key items, so that way people can they don't feel they've missed out that 60 seconds that was on screen, that some of the bigger items can be here while we're still doing our normal online bid. So help us test this out. 9 days plus remaining. Get a great looking sketch cover. Both of them are great. All right.
think Eddie's is awesome.
comicscuringcancer.org. That's what I got. Back to you now. Yeah. How you guys?
Do you regularly schedule?
Now we now return to your regular scheduled program. You're listening to the Legion Network here on YouTube.
Where's Mark? I need to talk to him about Diddy.
Where's Mark?
Step away. I'll be leaving early today from this. Unfortunately, people scheduled meetings with me during my first hour of work. I don't know why they do that, but
I want to be done with you.
What's really horrible is I have somebody who tried to schedule a meeting with me yesterday during a meeting. Well, I already had a meeting. I'm like, oh, you can't do that and expect me to show up. I had, they're like, okay, I'll schedule it for like tomorrow. I'm okay, fine. I was expecting it on my calendar today. No, he scheduled it for 6 a.m. on Monday. I'm like, oh, you're the guy. You're the kind of guy who schedules a meeting for 6 a.m. on Monday. And
you know what you need to do? You need to hit him at 6 p.m. on a Friday.
Well, that's not hard because it almost is for him. He's in the UK, so it's for him.
6 hour ahead, anyways. So by noon,
he's 7 hours ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you're right. You're on the Pacific.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to find a time, and that's why my mornings are usually pretty busy, anyways, because I'm usually dealing with, Romania, who's 9 hours ahead, and UK and the East Coast all online and stuff. And we try to coordinate meetings there. But yeah, no, I'm all 6 at you scheduled. My day starts at 6 a.m. at work officially. It's like you chose on a Monday to book the very first half hour of my day.
Monday.
How dare you?
He goes, I didn't have a lot of options.
He
goes, I didn't have a lot of options. I'm no. Hey, touche. It was open on my calendar. I told you, pick an open time on my calendars. And you did.
So you
gave him Monday?
It's my own
fault.
Gave
right.
Yes, sort of. I guess I did. Yeah.
You should show up with like some pajama tops and like a coffee and like rubbing sleep out of your eyes.
2 of those 3 are for sure.
Izzy, let me ask you
coffee
something.
Go for it.
How do you feel about Rotten Tomatoes removing reviews well after the fact of something coming out? We're talking, I guess, 2 weeks later.
Talking about the Ironheart?
Yeah.
Only if I know that the review was malicious intent.
And there's really no way to know that.
Exactly. You have to actually read the review to know
it's
malicious.
You're gonna have to talk to the person. I mean, I'm not talking about those outliers that are just like wildly offensive language, demeaning, and I mean, like the review, like the amount of reviews that had to be removed in order to pull off the over 30-point swing that they did. Yeah, it was well beyond any kind of objectivity with those reviews.
Yeah. So to answer that, with television, it's harder because with movies you have to verify your ticket. So the ticket needs to be verified for the movies. So like
you don't. I'll leave movie to be a verified review.
Yeah, to be a verified reviewer. That's how they count those with Rotten Tomatoes. But with the TV stuff, there's no real way of doing it. So the numbers are already subjective. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's still someone's opinion versus the other one.
How do you feel about them starting the practice of blatantly removing that kind of content from their site?
Again, only if it has malicious intent, in the sense that there's cursing, there's sounds of racism.
Now that we know it was beyond that,
if it was this show sucks, then no, that's not good. You get what I'm saying? So if someone says I don't like it, that means they don't like it. That's their review. Doesn't say anything else other than that.
Are we going back to an era with blatant manipulation of the site? Like that site is already tough it's not like it's an exact thing at all. You know what I mean? It's just like Caroline, like we were talking about, it's a, what is it? Like just anybody can go in and leave the information. What was the terminology you used?
I called it the plebs, but just like the regular watchers.
The plebs. Me and Caroline were talking about something else, but it takes away any solid objectivity of data. Like it's just
what we were talking about, like
you had a great term for it, which I'm brain farting right now, and it's not like it's not a special Caroline term. Like we're just anybody self-reporting. It's a self-reporting site.
Yeah, it's meant to be what it's meant to be. You take it in.
Self-reporting sites are going to give you things that are going to be biased inherently.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
You self-report.
So now we have the actual platform choosing the bias and not the users, just the bias falling out whichever way it falls out.
But I mean, some things, that's why they want you to jump on, because they want to hear exactly what you think. They want your opinion, which are those rating sites, like for movies or whatever.
Yeah, and so Rotten Tomatoes took a project that was sitting at 55 audience score, and they deleted enough reviews to get the audience score up to 80-something%. That's a massive amount of reviews they had to delete to do that.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of reviews.
Well, it depends on which one too. Like, are we talking about, because there's
Fan
the
score.
huh?
The fan score.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But didn't something like that happen where like the second Marvels was already like negative and it hadn't even been released yet? I mean, there was
That happened.
Yeah.
That happened with Ironheart as well. Before it released, people jumped to the site and
like,
review
how could you
bombed it.
possibly know? Like,
But to the credit of the people that liked it, or like the same mindset of people that go and negatively review bomb it before it came out, the exact opposite exists as well. Because if it was nothing but people going to negatively review bomb it, it would have a 0%. It premiered with a 32%. So roughly 32% of dishonest reviewers went in and rated it favorably to give it that 32% versus a 0%. Because that's how it works. It's your review slants negative or positive. Anything over a 3 out of 5. Is it 3 out of 5, Izzy? I think it's 3 out of 5.
It's 5. Yeah, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 or higher. 3, 4, or 5 gives you a tomato. 1 or 2 gives you a splat. So 32% of people went in and gave it a tomato dishonestly, and the other
give it a tomato.
God damn you, Rob.
I hate this.
Or they go in and the rest went in and gave it a splat. So like there's just dishonest people fighting the culture war on both sides, I guess, unnecessarily.
There you go, Birch. He said he's got better things to do, like write reviews about video games.
Potato.
But it's interesting because
call the whole thing off.
Since they went in and did the review deletion, it's already back down. Did you see this, Izzy? It's already back down to 49%.
It's just it's
wild.
all subjective at the end of the day. That's all it is. It's all it's gonna be.
Let me ask you a question. Ultimately,
Well, I'm not even necessary. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
Who cares?
No, it's just fun to talk about because what I care in a sense that so many people hinge on this site. You know what I mean? And not necessarily.
He loves it.
See, to me, it's like I don't care. What I care about maybe is more in this as far as discussion.
Empirical?
What do you think? No, less empirical actually. What do you think about it or whatever? Because we're
trusted opinions.
We're a known entity with a certain level of knowledge as it pertains to the properties. And
I've always been
friends.
called an entity.
So I'm more interested from that aspect. What some bunch of random people that scored something goes, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I agree with removing all of the reviews before the release of it. Hell, I think that they shouldn't even unlock the reviewing until well after it comes out, possibly not way after, but if a show comes out
opening weekend.
For example, with Ironheart, it came out on a Tuesday and dropped 3 episodes. That should not be open for reviewing until Friday at the earliest. Not very many people are going to get an opportunity to sit for 3 hours on a Tuesday night and watch all of that. Then there's going to be a level of knowing how the internet works, dishonest people reviewing it negatively and positively. If you want your release drop, because that's what people want, is that first initial release drop, you need to give the pool time to collect.
Yeah, but you see, that's not something.
And they can start like advertising when the reviews drop and stuff.
Yeah, but that's not something they want. They want people going into their site. So they want that immediate answer. So if you don't have that immediate answer, they don't.
I think there was some malicious.
People don't want to waste 2 hours of their time if they don't have to.
I think there was malicious intent on Rotten Tomatoes side in this situation. I think that they wanted the conversation about their website. I think they wanted the screenshots of people reviewing it beforehand. I think they fully intended to pull them down and just do it all over again.
Well, is that like Izzy said? They want enterprising.
It's a little bit of both. Enterprising. We're going to take those words and put them into a compound word and say, "Lady Fantastic just nailed it."
What's their bottom line? Money. Ads, then they're doing what they need to do.
It's ads. It's ads. The bottom line is ads.
Yeah. But you can also So if we
want
take it
people
a
to
step farther and just apply ethics to it, like I think it was a little unethical on their part. I am assuming their
Which is
intent
honest.
with this. Yeah, I'm assuming their intent with this, and I don't think it was good.
Their intent of it was either Disney said, "Hey, here's some money. Can you get this all out of the way?"
Yeah.
Because you
He's
ain't
like,
gonna
"This
tell me
didn't
the
go way
mouse.
we
You
expected."
ain't gonna tell me that the mouse didn't say, "Come on, man, seriously, man." I'm just saying,
Wow.
the mouse had something to do with
That
it.
was something.
Yeah,
Yes, it
Nicholas
was.
Holt is the best actor there. So
Nicholas
I think
Holt.
that-
Yeah, he's got the
Oh,
out of the three of them,
Nicholas
he has
Holt-
the resume.
I saw someone say in the chat a long time ago about how
deserve more money.
he deserves an Oscar for his
Yeah.
role, and I
In
I don't
what?
know about
Really?
Oscar.
In what? In Superman?
Yeah,
I thoroughly-
no.
Whoever
thoroughly
said that is
think
more
Nicholas
biased
Holt-
than I am.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I think he may win a MTV Movie Award.
Like
For
they're
it.
gonna pour the slime on him, maybe. You know what I mean? Like,
He was a very
what?
So everybody in that movie, I think probably the best actor was Rachel Brosnahan,
Oh, I was
because
gonna say Crypto.
he was CGI for most of the part.
What? You're
yeah,
lying.
There was some CGI. Done.
No way. You're
Yeah.
telling me that dog, when it was flying with CGI, it looked so real.
No, he was really flying.
I thought
It was
so.
it was
Okay.
his
They
face
just
that was
launched him up
CGI.
like a cannon,
Good morning, Drew. Again, as a
Okay, you
reminder,
ready,
if
dog?
If anybody watching would like to join on panel for discussion, just message me or Rob.
Dog
No,
tossing was
but
handled in this movie.
I will say Rachel was probably the best actor. I think Nicholas Hoult was playing.
I think Mr. Terrific stole the show for me,
Oh, he was awesome. He was awesome. But I think
performance-wise.
as far as acting chops goes, I think it was Lois Lane.
Oh,
It was Lois Lane who had the acting side of it, because
When it
Nicholas
comes-
Hoult was just playing an evil,
when it comes
maniacal
to
villain. That's what he
embodying-
was playing.
When it comes to embodying and representing the character you're playing the best, I think that Lex stands out to me. I said it before. I think this was our best Lex Luthor we've seen on screen. When it comes to just most impressive, I don't know, personal preference performance, I think Mr. Terrific stole the show in that aspect. But the difference of the two is this is just our second time ever seeing Mr. Terrific. He was in the Arrowverse, but Lex, we have so many different performances for nearly 50 years that we can look at and compare to, and he's a more polarizing character. So there was a higher bar, and Nicholas Hoult definitely hit that bar where Mr. Terrific, they were setting the bar really for the first time. And I think the bar has been set extremely high with what he did with his interpretation of Mr. Terrific. It was amazing.
so Nicholas Holt's interpretation of Lex Luthor
Perfect.
was perfect, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was it? It's not Oscar worthy though.
No.
No, it's not an Oscar-worthy script that he was reading from.
I know, but sometimes performances can be breakout performances just because
I don't-
they're so well delivered.
I
such a
don't
good
disagree
actor.
with
Like
that at all,
Daniel
but there's
Day-Lewis, Lex Luthor.
you'll
Yeah,
see
but
what I'm
it-
talking
it-
about
but
when
it-
you watch it. There's nothing in the script to break it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
there was.
if he did this, if he played this part 1,000%, there's
Yeah.
still not content there for him to
Yeah.
break out with. That's not what this movie is.
Mhm.
What if
If
there
that
was a
makes
Lex Luthor Penguin Lake series with him in it?
Now you're talking. Penguin-like series. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Does Nicholas Hoult have chops? Absolutely. I just don't think. I think that's an unfair statement with the Oscars thing, because nowhere in the assignment was that ever something that they were thinking about.
Yeah,
or
they're
looking to
not
do.
hunting an Oscar here.
Yeah, that's just not fair.
They were just having. What it was he was having fun. You could tell he was enjoying his role.
Yeah,
But it wasn't like he's like, this is my breakout performance, because it wasn't his breakout performance. If you go look at what's the Dracula movie he just did, Nosferatu.
No, it was Renfield.
Nosferatu.
No. He was in Nosferatu, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was.
He was. That's an
Yeah,
Oscar
he was
performance.
Parker. Yeah, that's an Oscar performance. Like where you're seeing all the like Lex is just Lex. Like it's hard to put it any other way. Lex is just Lex.
He's just so one-dimensional. It's hard
Okay.
to.
What you got? No.
He was a little more than one-dimensional.
I have one minor request that will venture into ever so slight spoiler things, but I'm willing to take this for
I'll
this
handle
question. Did Lex Luthor have any kind of real estate scheme. in this
Yes,
movie.
actually.
Dude, Rob, kings
Yes.
come and go.
That's all you gotta say.
Kingdoms
Yes.
may rise and
That's all
fall,
you gotta say.
but land,
But you're not gonna find. You gotta
and they're
look
not
for it.
making any more of it.
Excellent.
But to take away, yes, there was something there.
All the best Lex
I'm telling
Luthers
you, this
on
is our
cinema
best-
have dealt with the real estate.
Yeah, this is
a good way to make money.
land equals power. You know what I'm saying? Like every day the world only
Papa.
gets, hey, Papa.
What's up, Papa? It's good seeing
What's
you, bro.
up, homie? Hope you're doing all right.
And that's not much of a spoiler either, too. It's
Oh my
really
God!
fun. It's so good.
Wait, why don't I have a seat? That was absolutely hilarious. That actor plays himself in everything, and he was the perfect casting for that.
The
moment to
handlebar
shine.
mustache, man.
A good handlebar mustache is a good thing to have.
He 100% loves him.
You know who was also surprised to me? Jimmy.
I like what they did with Jimmy a lot.
Jimmy's story was a surprise.
Don't put it on blast. I'm just gonna leave it
No,
out. I like
it
what
was
they
just
did
fun.
with Jimmy.
Like the only
Jimmy's
person that didn't have a lot of
history.
screen time.
Jimmy's history in comics is so much more than an average person has an idea of, because he's just the photographer. You know, he's just.
And it's the dude from freaking Righteous Gemstones.
It is. He's phenomenal.
He's
But
great, isn't he?
what they did with this, I feel like it automatically opens the door for Jimmy to have more agency and presence in the DCU if they choose to go that route. They just, yeah.
Yeah,
Jimmy
I mean,
knows what it is.
they basically
Papa's
Lois
in the
Laned him.
hospital, he said, so.
We know. Yeah.
Yeah, Papa.
watching
We
it
had
from hospital.
heard. We had heard. That's why we're excited that you're able to join us. We can tell you're not feeling well because you're speaking in lowercase letters.
Lowercase, yeah.
Lowercase.
You're whispering. He's in the hospital though. That's why.
So, but we
Oh.
hope you feel better soon, man, and you're back.
Hope
home
you're
safe.
back to caps anytime.
Yeah. So Papa, man, seriously, man, much love to you. It must have been the news of Pat, wasn't it? The news of Pat not coming back. That's probably what did it to you.
My favorite two characters were
Gotta
Pat
go
Grant's
back.
boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, big shout
My
out
boss
to
is
that.
calling.
It was the first time dude, it like stood out. Like not just her
Well, I
boobs,
think
but her
somebody-
character stood out. Like, and you just don't see.
Yeah,
You
someone
don't
in the
see
theater
sex
said that.
anymore.
Someone in the
see
theater
sex.
was like, "Oh, I didn't know."
You
Like,
gotta watch
yeah.
that in 3D. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah,
Dude, I forgot that it's a 3D
there's a
3D
3D version.
option movie. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
There's definitely scenes that are they're made for 3D.
Well, there you are. Well, yeah. In a few moments, I have to run to have a meeting at 6:30 this morning, Mark. So
How about lunchtime, buddy? You're good, man. I'm on vacation, Rob.
I know.
Vacation.
I'll be running to take the dogs up to the kennel in a little bit. Drew just sent you the link, buddy.
Wow. Somebody's I'll give this to this writer, and I'll give him props. There's a writer that had sent me some
Like one
copies of
movie from
books to
now.
review, and I warned him ahead of time. I'm not a book reviewer normally. It's not normally what I do, but he sent me these things because it's sci-fi, and he thought that I might dig it. And he's been chasing me. Admittedly, I haven't gotten around to reading them for a bit. And I finally read the first of two books the other day. And he was pinging me, following up, and I'm like, oh, because he's getting ready to launch the third Kickstarter or whatever on it. And I told him, I read the first one. I said, you know, character development or character art and everything else kept me engaged, and the concept was interesting. But for me personally, I don't know, it's just me, but it seems like there's a lot of back lore that I'm not privy to.
Mhm.
And I'm having difficulty following what the hell is going on. I was going back and rereading things multiple times, and he sent me a message. He's saying, "Hey, I appreciate the feedback. He said, if you decide to do a review, be honest." I'm like, "Oh, I appreciate that, man. I'll read his second book and see what I think." But yeah, this guy here, Rob, did you read my book yet? It sucks.
Oh,
Sucks.
Suck it up. Suck it up, old man. Yeah, that's a good book.
I would have been like, "What book was it again?"
Don't mince your words now.
No, it was a play on words. If I wanted to mince my words, I'd use a knife.
What kind of book was it?
It was a book called "Suck It Up, Old Man." Is what
Uh-huh.
AR's book. It's about two different vacuum cleaners.
It's about a vacuum cleaner and a Roomba.
That's what it
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
That
Vacuum
sounds
cleaner,
really
the old
good, though.
man.
They're both vacuum
is.
cleaners, but yeah.
When is your OnlyFans show?
The OnlyFans show?
You asking to see his wiener?
No, I'm not. I'm asking when his show is on.
Only
is your show
slabs.
today? Tomorrow?
Saturday.
Saturday.
I'm
It's
sorry.
Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. Pacific.
Saturdays.
I thought she was asking what time you present your meat online.
You know what's funny? It's probably truth in there.
Next Saturday, yeah. There'll be a lot of only slabs of beef, slabs of pigs, slabs of.
It's the kind of show you're interested in.
You're welcome, AR. You can quote me on that, no less.
He doesn't without your permission, even.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna run. I got a show with Matt later.
I dare you to walk.
Heroes for Hire Comic Club. We're gonna be reviewing The Dark Knight on Good Cinema. At
Easily
9:30.
top 3 greatest comic movies of all time. Debatable where in the top 3 you want to put it, but undeniably in the top 3.
I just
Drew,
can't
would you,
wait to watch
first
it.
off, Drew, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream.
What's
First
going
time
on?
hanging out on this channel. Glad
Hell
you
yeah,
made it.
madam.
Hey.
Hi, bye.
Hey, Drew.
Hi, Drew. Well, I'll stay a little bit. I mean, since
Oh,
you just
all right.
But now she gets to stay. Drew's here.
She's like, oh, wait a second. He's
As
got
long
a
as
voice.
Justin
I'm going
Bruce
to
doesn't
listen.
come on, and I'm okay.
She just realized she has 2.5 hours before that next stream she had to run to.
I was gonna rewatch some of the movie though.
She, gently saunter to it at this point. It's no hurry.
Dude, that's
however,
that's a
will be
good question.
shortly.
Izzy, you said you saw Superman in 3D?
I
No,
did not
I
see
s-
it in 3D.
Okay.
No,
so
I didn't see it in 3D. I wouldn't see a movie in 3D.
Dude,
Last
the
movie I saw in
only-
3D was Avengers.
the
first
only
one.
movie that
Avatar
I-
is the only reason to see a movie in 3D.
I was about to say
3D.
the last movie that I willingly bought 3D was Avatar, which I did not regret one bit. It was actually the first 3D movie that Finn saw. It's an experience. That's part of the reason why they make Avatar. Like go in all in.
I
It's
did
also
not
the reason
like
why
Way
it
of
makes
Water in 3D.
billions of dollars.
My last 3D movie was the Nightmare Before Christmas 3D release.
Oh, I bet that was amazing.
Mm.
It was because it
If
wasn't.
they format it well.
It was because I think today's modern 3D is best when they focus on depth of field
Yeah,
rather
depth
than
up. Yeah.
gimmicky pop shit out at you. Because the shit that pops out at you, your mind thinks that it's coming at you, so your eyes shift their focus and it becomes blurry, and it doesn't always work perfectly. Whereas depth of field, it doesn't. You don't have that. Instead,
It
you
just creates a natural immersive
Yeah.
film that you're
and
watching.
so the claymation stuff for and the puppetry stuff for Nightmare Before Christmas. I thought
Oh god, I bet that was
phenomenal.
amazing.
I saw Jaws in 3D when I was little. in
the
theater.
old school.
Oh my
Old
god,
school
the
3D.
shark, the stiff shark just coming at you, not moving.
I
Well, Jaws,
remember.
Jaws. That was the big thing for Jaws
Yeah.
3. Jaws
Yeah.
3 was 3D.
Yeah.
Jaws
Yeah.
3D.
It was called Jaws 3D.
3D,
Yeah.
yeah.
Every time I think of old school 3D, like the prior to digital 3D, where you had
Friday
to
the
have the
13th.
blue and red glasses,
Yeah.
for the life of me, I can't think of anything but Captain EO, the
Yes!
Michael Jackson vehicle
Going to Disney, get the
in Disney World. As like, I don't know why my mind automatically goes.
That
Captain
might have been
EO.
the last thing you've seen that way, other than comic books.
Yeah, I mean, true. There's a lot of really bad 3D gimmicks over the years. Like early 90s 3D gimmicks were always terrible.
The ones that when the 3D high definition televisions were the worst. There's like
the thing is they were so great for what they were, but it was such a niche thing to spend that much money on.
the earliest models. I remember seeing it when I looked at them. I was like, oh, this looks like a 3D Viewmaster.
Yeah,
Like the old thing. It was like a series of 2-dimensional images, like layered. And it's like, but it wasn't like a true, nothing really had any depth. It was just like, oh, this is in the foreground and this is obviously in the background, but they're all just still 2-dimensional images, which was really horrific.
Yeah. Did
My-
you guys,
yeah,
I know you guys
mom
play the
My mom used, I
3DS?
have one of those old Viewmasters where you put in the old photograph and you look through it and it makes.
Well, the
some stuff pop up.
ViewMaster was you'd buy them, had the circle that you
click.
put in as a kid, and you click it, it would rotate
Yeah.
around. So you
There
could go
was
to the
one
grand.
that's older, it's an antique one. And it
Oh,
has
there was
antique
a
photos
slide
you put
viewer
in.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, and
there was. I remember that one too. Actually, now I think about it. But
Rob bought
anyways,
it off the shelf.
well, they also had a camera one too. Even, but okay, that's it. I got to run to a meeting. Unfortunately, we'll maybe see you guys later after the meeting if possible.
Yep.
Au revoir.
See you, Rob.
See you, Rob.
Oh my god! I thought for a second I almost hit the freaking.
Oh, you SOB.
We're
We're not doing a part 3, Rob. Watch it. Drew, what is like? 'cause
And stream's over.
we're definitely shying away from spoilers. Meaning today's the actual release date.
Oh, I'm not going to spoil anybody,
Okay,
but
what were your thoughts? Fill us in. You said
for me,
you
it's like
after
when
whatever.
going into James Gunn taking over for Zack Snyder, all I really wanted was attention to detail on what made these characters. And I said every in the chat. Ultraman not gonna be the biggest faithful adaptation. So if you're going in looking for that, that's not gonna be there. But outside of that, like Steve Lombard shines in what 3 lines?
Yeah,
You know,
nailed it
Cat Grant shines,
for
Perry
different reasons.
shines, you know, Jimmy Olsen shines, Eve Tessmacher shines.
Jesus.
Maybe a different adaptation, but great character in this film. And not only that, Lex Luthor is pitch perfect as far as who he is as a character, what his motivations are, what his actions would be, how he would react in any situation. And Nicholas Hoult is fantastic.
Yeah, he
But
crushed
the
it.
writing is there for that. Like the writing is on the page for that. Like Corn Sweat is I'm gonna say right now the best Superman on film ever. Christopher Reeves is great. He's great. I can't take anything away from Christopher Reeves, but at the same time, that is a movie. Like the thing that I loved so much about Man of Steel, despite all its flaws, is the level of action that was put into it. We're 2 Kryptonians having a fight. That's what it would be like. There'd be quick movements. It'd be hard hitting. There'd be destruction all over the place. But you lose all of the character of Superman in that movie. Whereas like you get the best of both worlds with this flick. Like the actions there that you want from the action sequences, the modern, CG is really good.
Crisp, yeah.
It's all of the animations on all of the digital characters are insanely top shelf, in my opinion. So then you get the hopeful, positive, wants to do the right thing, Boy Scout Superman.
Mhm.
You know, you get that. I loved Corn Sweat Superman.
Can we go back to the absolute crime against humanity that you stated in that and unpack it?
What, that he's better than Christopher Reeve?
See, the fact that you knew exactly what I was saying,
Yeah,
that is true. So can you unpack that a little bit?
Can I unpack it? Yeah.
Your thoughts and feelings.
So here's where I am. Christopher Reeves, great Superman, did great, but forever he was the only option for that Superman. And I look at it in the same way that Superman didn't really get another fair shake on screen as far as a major motion picture until we got Henry Cavill, right? So
you
it's
don't think Returns was a fair shake?
Brandon Routh and Returns.
I'm not giving any.
I don't think he's got
saying, like,
anything to be ashamed of for his performance, but I think that movie was so far off base that it just doesn't really connect.
Are you only referring to silver screen as well?
I'm not talking about TV.
Okay,
let's talk about movies.
There you have it. He just openly admitted Tom Welland's the best Superman ever.
No. So I was just
what's the Superman and Lois guy's name? Tyler Hoechlin.
Tyler Hoechlin is absolutely.
He's way better than Dean Cain or.
He's amazing, but he also had a great cast and crew for that entire project. Like I'm not an Arrowverse fan.
I'll be completely honest. I didn't go all in on that. I watched a couple of episodes and then I was like, oh, they're redoing the whole kid
holy
with
potato
superpower things, and
do
that
yourself
just
a favor
didn't
and watch
sit
it,
with me.
because I felt the same way at the start of it. Like I dropped the Arrowverse forever ago. It all went to shit after season 2 of Flash. And when I found out Superman wasn't going to be Arrowverse stuff, like I didn't even go back in for Supergirl, like knowing Superman's there.
Fair enough.
But when I saw that the Superman and Lois show was going to be standalone, when I saw some of the trailers for it, seeing that like tone wise, it was completely different. It just stands on its own. It's not connected to nothing else. It has no history or attachment to the Arrowverse. And I wasn't a big fan of doing the kid, much less twins, but their interpretation of actual comic stuff to make it familiar but unpredictable was its biggest strong suit. Because like you said, the number one thing you wanted to see in James Gunn was that they land the characters. Like you can alter them, you can do your take on them, but don't lose the core of what makes these people who they are. And not only does Superman and Lois not lose it, they shine it, dude. It is like I got goosebumps right now thinking about moments in that show. It was such a shocker what they pulled off with what resources they had. I couldn't believe it the whole way through.
So let me just go back to the original question you posed to me with is why do I think that Corn Sweat is the better Superman when you factor in Christopher Reeve? Christopher Reeve, say what you want about Superman 2. There's one good cut of that movie. That the theatrical release of that movie is not great. The Donner cut is far superior.
Amazing.
And it's the epitome of what they do nowadays, which is where things are just chopped and screwed DJ style, putting a movie together after the fact. So you got to kind of take Superman 2 out of the conversation, because what is it if it's not one or the other? So I'll just go ahead and eliminate that as an outlier. So you got Superman the movie, which is fantastic.
We're going 1 for 1 then. That's fair. Let's go 1 for 1.
Right. I'm going to go Superman the movie, which is fantastic. I think that I can see Christopher Reeve all day making out with Lois, slowly flying around the sky, saving cats out of trees, having conversations with Lex Luthor. I don't see him flying through space. I don't see him doing a lot of the things that they had Superman doing in this movie that I'm not going to spoil. I don't see him doing the big bombastic, being part of an action set piece. Like you don't ever see that from Superman in Superman.
Now, is that
the movie.
because of your, like, not judging here, but is that because of your like imagination limitations, or is that because of time era limitations to the film? Because Superman,
wait a second, you can't put the limits of imagination on me.
No,
the limits of the imagination are on the filmmaker, which was limited by technology.
Because I was going to say, in Superman the movie, he had like what for that time was massive set piece,
massive,
massive. So that's what I'm saying.
When you put the two side by side, it's like saying $1 million is a lot of money, and then saying $1 billion is a lot.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Like I don't know how
Christopher Reeve's clearly worth $1 million as Superman.
I don't know how fair of a comparison
David
would be.
Clearly worth $1 billion as Superman.
In 1978, you have him catching helicopters on the sides of buildings, drilling through tunnels, like fighting rays, flying around the world, setting back time, turning back the earthquakes. Some of the biggest set pieces.
Do I think that Christopher Reeve in the modern era could pull this off? Maybe, but he didn't. And David,
he couldn't, right? So
I'm not taking that away from him. I'm looking at what those two movies delivered as far as a picture of Superman and how he's portrayed as a character. Now, there's a lot of things that Christopher Reeve does in those movies that's like that tongue-in-cheek late 70s, early 80s, like kind of like swarthy, like flirting that just like doesn't land at all.
Oh, when he's Clark Kent and he's like,
just like crazy. Hey. Like there's little creepy weirdnesses to his performance, and I think that it flew at the time. I don't think that it would stand the test of time. I go back. I rewatched all of those. I watched Superman 4 going into this. I watched Man of Steel. Man. I watched Justice League in 3 different varieties. Getting ready for this movie, I watched the Joss Whedon cut. I watched the Zack Snyder cut. I watched the Zack Snyder cut in black and white. And let me tell you, I inundated myself with so much Superman.
Justice is gray.
Well, Justice might be gray, but not in this movie. In this movie, Justice is fucking black and white. Pardon my language. It's black and white. There are good guys and there are bad guys, and the good guys do the good thing and the bad guys do the bad thing. And you don't question it. I think that's spiritually, there's a lot of Christopher Reeve in David Cornsweet's Superman, but he is a much, much better Clark Kent.
Well, and that's
in
where
my
it gets
opinion, a
little
much
different,
better
right?
Kal-El.
That's the whole thing. It's like, so the prototype for who Superman is will always be Christopher Reeves. The catch is, how can you take what Christopher Reeve did and elevate it? And that's what David Cornsweet was trying to do. That's what Henry Cavill was doing. That's what even Brandon Roth was trying to pull off, right?
Henry Cavill was trying. He was
but again, they were but
based
at the
on
same time,
his
you
environment.
gotta have the prototype, right? So when you think of Superman, the person that comes into your mind will always, for most people, will always be Christopher Reeve. Just like when you think of Batman, most people hear the voice of Kevin Conroy, right? And it's debatable who people think Batman should be, and I think that's the one that's a little different. But I think it's undeniable the majority of people look at Christopher Reeves as their Superman and will always be Superman, to the point that in the comics they draw him looking like Christopher Reeve now. And now you probably see more of a look of David Cornsweet, but David Cornsweet does resemble a little bit of Christopher Reeves. So it all goes back to Christopher Reeve. Now,
I can't deny that.
You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, it's like you always look at it from the perspective, like, what will Christopher Reeve look like in this universe? Of course, you have a better costume. Of course, the CGI will work, and I think it would work with him because he embodies what Superman's supposed to have been in the first place. Because there's some people that even says George Reeves.
Pops is a Kurt Allen fan.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
No, but like I don't know. Like I think David Cornsweet did a great job. There's nothing about his performance, the way that he interacted in his solo time in the Fortress, the way that he interacted with Lois, the way that he interacted at the planet, the way that he interacted in costume, that put him above what Christopher Reeve brought to the performance in any aspect of it. Literally, not one single aspect of it. The way that Christopher Reeve interacted, just saving the cat, versus the way David Cornsweet interacted with people. Both of them accurate interpretations of how Superman interacts. Christopher Reeve is putting on a more Superman-esque way of doing it. That innocent smirk with confidence, the way that people even look at him in the movie, the way that other people are interacting in his presence. There was nothing about the David Cornsweet one that elevated it above the difference between wearing the suit and wearing the Daily Planet suit, like the Kal-El versus Clark Kent dynamic. No one is going to touch Christopher Reeve in my mind, and that's no more so apparent than in the Donner cut when you get like the ultimate transformation scene and you really see how much your mind has been playing tricks on you, because you watched Superman the movie. You saw him as Clark Kent. You saw him as Superman. You see Christopher Reeve in both of it, but you're seeing his performance. But then when you get to Superman 2, whether you waited for those movies to release separately, whether decades later you watch them back to back, you see that Niagara Falls scene and you see in front of your eyes in real time how much this actor portraying these characters has fooled your brain when Lois pulls the trigger and you watch this bumbling buffoon turn into Superman in the literal blink of the eye without even changing clothes. And you're just like, holy shit. Like there's nothing about this new movie that compares to that. And that doesn't take anything away from the new movie. Christopher Reeve wasn't just a sign of his time. He fucking is Superman in every aspect of the character. And luckily for Christopher Reeve and that movie, this character's timeless. And he didn't start with Christopher Reeve. He started decades before Christopher Reeve. And what he embodies in that movie wasn't only true to everything that came before him, it's beyond true to everything up until this week when I picked up Action Comics. Like, it's so spot on. It's undeniable. But yeah. Superman's such a long-standing character that he can be versatile. the Zack Snyder version, though wildly controversial, is not inaccurate either. Zack Snyder made a poor judgment call by a lot of people's standards to pick a sliver of Superman's history and really dive into it and unpack it. And it's a sliver that was written by a person at the time who didn't even like Superman at the time.
Well,
so that's kind of a wild decision.
I think that's fair. It's a fair assessment of your opinion as to why, Reeves is going to always be your guy. I think that it's very similar to a Joker argument, where it's like people are going to say Jack Nicholson Joker was so great because he was great in one flick. But like Heath Ledger's Joker is streets ahead.
I think the majority of people will vote for Heath Ledger, to be honest with you.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people out there that
I think
have
that
their mind stuck on it.
My point
I also think that
would be
there's
more
also
contested in Christopher Reeve. There's few things as unanimous as the Christopher Reeve taken.
I don't think it's unanimous though.
I said as unanimous.
Yeah, but I would sit here and say that like what you're saying, like he's the gold standard. Izzy even said like this.
Yeah, he's the prototype
standard. He's not the standard. There was 60 fucking years of comic books of this character before he even ever existed. So it's like whatever. But it's
to the year.
Have you guys ever seen Switching Channels? That movie? It's an old movie. It's got Christopher Reeve in it, and he's hilarious in it.
I've never seen him in anything but Superman.
Oh, I seen him in other things.
You've never seen Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve and Jane Fonda?
Wow, that's a throwback, man. I haven't seen that. Last time I saw that, we were in a different millennium. That's how long ago that movie is.
I just thought that's like quintessential Christopher Reeve viewing.
Camera.
See, Matt got it.
I just think that Corn Sweat Superman draws way more from comic book continuity than it does.
Oh, I agree to that.
Reeve. And I think that I think that he's given much more comic booky things to do.
Is that easier with 50 more years worth of material to draw from to make that like kind of a layup?
No, I think that the majority of the stuff that he draws from comes from that Silver Age era, which is pre-Christopher Reeve. So it's like you're getting a lot of that Superman not understanding why people don't understand that he's trying his best.
One thing that I pointed out on my Out of Theater review was my critique of Clark Kent, not in a negative way, but one thing I noticed is he was very modernized, and not in a sense like this is Clark in modern comics. I felt like the movie interpretation was even kind of more modernized than what you would get if you pick up this week's Superman. And that's not a bad thing. I like when movies because you're not working in the same medium. So you need to find like, can I do a straight pull from the comics? So I need to tweak something for the movie medium versus the books. And that was probably one of the adjustment things for me, because even though Christopher Reeve is my Superman, like Henry Cavill's still kind of the mind's eye Superman because he's been Superman for the past 15 years. So it's that adjustment period that a lot of people are going to have, no matter where Henry Cavill falls on your ranking. You have to get adjusted to what's new. It's like when you start a brand new television show, you're not going to be invested until you get a few episodes in. You got to meet the characters. You got to figure out their motives. You got to understand how dynamics work. But then by episode 4, you can, if it's a decent show, you find yourself very invested. So it's that adjustment period.
As you're reading a book, you need to get
I got you, Matt.
50 pages to get into the book,
Yeah. Then I feel like and people have to grant this movie that adjustment period. It'll be easier for some than others, depending on how invested you are in previous stuff and stuff like that. But the Clark Kent adaptation for me was a bigger feeling of, oh, it's going to take some adjusting. But I loved the Clark Kent in private versus the Clark Kent in public, if that makes sense without getting into spoilers.
Yeah. So there's a little argument going on here. All-Star Superman is Silver Age writing. I don't care how you look at it. It's Silver Age Superman. It's not. It's actually an end to Silver Age Superman. So that's how I look at All-Star Superman. It was written obviously in modern age, but it's an all-star story.
The movie
this
wasn't
movie isn't an
All-Star
adaptation of All-Star Superman.
This movie's not an
close.
adaptation of anything.
This is more
it
of a
grabs panels
collaboration.
for visualization from All-Star Superman.
It's more Birthright. It's more Birthright than it is All-Star.
I don't, this.
Oh,
this
Mark, is your bandana
so
signifying
old
your
school to me.
vacation?
What?
So old
Is
school.
your
to me,
bandana
man.
signifying your vacation?
They were sent to me, so I'm like for the month of July at least. I'm trying to have fun with them.
Oh, that's nice. I thought you were gonna go on like outside and do some wax on, wax off on your fence or something.
I don't even know how to do kung fu.
But it honestly, it's
Not yet.
Superman's more its
Called
own
karate,
story
I
with taking. This Superman's more its own story with just taking beats from other stories and putting it together. Because James Gunn said it best: "Is like it's his tribute to comics. That's what it is."
Yeah, this movie's about to crush it merchandising for sure.
And anybody who's saying that this movie is going to flop has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. I went and saw it yesterday at 2 p.m. on a Thursday, and there was not a seat to be had in that theater. Not one seat to be had. I can't tell you, like the last time I went to see a movie and it was a full theater was the Minecraft movie. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's kids. So that's easy. That's easy to pull off. I think, it's like anything that a mom can take 8 kids to at the same time.
Give them an hour and a half break while they sit there. Yeah,
right.
They can breathe for an hour and a half. Yeah. I think this is a sweet spot too, right? Like this is a kid-friendly movie.
Oh, it's straight up a kid movie.
The only thing that's going to keep this from having an insane run is that Fantastic Four just blows up, and I don't see that happening. I don't see I think that it might be able to take some of the shine off of it, but I don't see that happening. I think that the MCU is on a downswing and the DCU's on an upswing, and that this movie is as proof of concept for a new universe. I am all in. I don't even want to see this Lantern show because I want a Guy Gardner solo movie. Because he's
in the Lanterns.
That's where he's gonna die.
And he openly
I don't want him to die. I want him to be a dick forever.
No, he's gonna die.
Go.
No,
I've been saying he's gonna die since before they announced Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion went on the record to say that he's going to drop more F-bombs in Lantern than he ever could.
Good for him. I want him to be Green Lantern all the time. I want that stupid haircut to show up everywhere.
356 women agree.
And I'm all in on this flick, but I don't think it was a perfect movie.
It's not.
I've got judgments on the narrative structure. I think that there are definitely things about this movie that could have been better. I think it was a little hokey and jokey at some points where it could have benefited from a little bit more gravitas and groundedness. But I think that as far as it goes, man, the characters were nailed. They nailed the characters. That's what's important. They're gonna change things up. Was this the big, was the Superman fighting a world-ending threat? Not really. It wasn't
build
really
first for that, right?
Yeah, but it was more about people. The movie was about people, and if you're telling stories about characters that people care about, like I'll bring it back to one of my favorite shows of all time was Lost, and people hated on that show. People loved that show. There was a lot of judgment all over the board on that. But I think that the best thing that Lost did is it took 3 seasons to make you invest in the characters before it was like, all right, spoiler alert, this is about time travel. It's like,
spoiler alert, there's no ending.
Oh, it's only 15 years old.
When they brought Desmond in, it changed the game though, man.
Right. Yeah. But like
Desmond and Faraday and
as soon as I loved it, but as soon as most people would have jumped off, as soon as that story went full bore, this is a genre show, not it's a mystery show. I think that there are a lot of people who would have jumped off if they weren't invested in those characters already.
Yeah, my experience was a little different because Lost in Real Time was something. You know what I mean? And from my experience, I mean, everyone's area and everyone's like environment will vary. But when they introduced Desmond and we get into the Faraday stuff and all that, they needed a bigger water cooler at work at that point.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the weeds, and people were just the more questions, the better for the longest time with that show. It wasn't until the writer's strike really messed it up with that short season that
the split season.
Yeah, that's when it got a little weird.
I
Second half of that season.
I just lost that.
I'm gonna see Matt on Good Cinema later. We're gonna be reviewing The Dark Knight.
Yeah, Good Cinema.
Yep, I'll be there too, man.
The Dark Knight. We're going to review The Dark Knight. I'll see you there.
All
I'll
right.
send you the link in a minute. I'll send you both the link here in a minute.
Okay.
Hey, could all three of y'all talk at one time? I could only almost understand y'all.
Okay, why don't we get Drew to talk with us too?
Okay. Drew,
so what happens is they're going to do a show about The Dark Knight. It's a one-time Vox should have been.
Yeah, what time is that today, Matt?
It's gonna
12:30 p.m.
12:30 p.m. Dark
Eastern.
Knight, good movie review on Heroes for Hire channel featuring Madam, who's got to go watch the movie for the first time right now.
I'm not the first time. I'm just gonna go review it. You think I missed Ledger's like most wonderful performance?
A Knight's Tale?
Yeah, it definitely was
a good movie.
10 Things I Hate About You.
No.
We're gonna play this game? Let's do it.
The Patriot? Was it?
Oh God, Gabriel.
The Patriot was literally just Braveheart in the American Revolution, and I couldn't have been more in for it.
It was amazing.
I
love that movie.
It's like Mel Gibson's like, I'm just going to make the same movie. We're just going to do a different time period.
Change the flags. We changed nothing else. Change the flags. We're good.
Drew, my friend Joe, who's got a YouTube channel, he was in that movie. He's one of the people that burns Mel Gibson's house to the ground.
The Patriot. I know a lot of people who were extras in that.
Yeah, he was an extra in it, but he was like one of the ones that threw the torches at the.
Man, they filmed that all in like Northern Virginia.
Yeah,
it's crazy how accurate they were to the area.
I just wanted to say what Drew was saying about
Mark,
like,
go ahead, Matt.
About this movie being it's going to be huge. I went to a matinee at 2 p.m. and it was almost full.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
And when the movie
I saw
was
your
over,
video, yeah.
And when the movie was over, people applauded.
Yeah.
So
Mark,
I mean, that's a good sign if you ask me.
I love your Instagram video of like all your kids reviewing it, and you just hear your Finn scream, "We're getting attacked like T-Rexes!" And then you just
what I miss.
And then you see Monkey. You're like, "What do you think now that you're on your favorite ride?" She's like, "Eh."
Yeah.
She was locked in. She was trying to drive a Batmobile at the time.
Hey, stop asking me questions. I'm gaming.
Game.
Yeah, they love the arcade, man, which is good because there's not many of them, and I remember such great memories. So the arcades are different for kids their age. They got like Putt Putt, Dave and Buster's is like a good one, but the theater has them too. Whenever you walk out, I remember being a little walking out like, oh, can we play a game? And they're like, no. And because you got to go to bed, you got stuff to do. But luckily, I wanted to do that like quick little out of theater video. And unfortunately, and fortunately, it only took tokens, and you have to get your tokens from the little cash machine. Yep. But it only takes ones and fives, and only had bigger bills on me. So I went to the cash register asking if they could break a 20. Like, no, we're not allowed to. So I had to donate $1 to some charity thing that the theater has just to get them to pop the drawer, which was fine.
No, it was cool to see your whole family, the oldest daughter, the kids. Yeah. Awesome.
I think the craziest thing about this movie, though, as far as the theater experience, is the diversity of moviegoer I saw.
Everyone was there, right?
A lot of families, but also a lot of older folks. That you wouldn't see at your typical, like, older folks weren't going to see Zack Snyder movies. Just wasn't.
No. You know what you don't want to see when you order comic books and whatnot.
I don't know, but before we change subjects, though, to that point, Drew, me and Izzy had talked about this previously.
Damn.
Superman has a massive, massive, massive fan base worldwide. And he's a very, very underserviced character for a handful of years. It's kind of just getting back around to being like properly utilized. Bendis era didn't do any favors for Superman. PKJ gangbusters to bring him back. And despite any of his flaws, David Zaslav walked into Warner Brothers Discovery like Neil Adams did on his first day in the DC bullpen and said, "Where the fuck is Superman? This is our flagship character." And that shows it, because
Superman,
Avatar is the only comparable thing with the silent fan base, because you don't see them online arguing. They just show up when you do something for them.
So I what was it? Was it People Magazine or something like that?
I
Years
still
ago,
haven't
did
seen
a
it, but I'm seeing
People
it
Magazine.
next week.
People Magazine did a most iconic characters, or most iconic people in the world, and Superman came in number 2.
Behind Batman or Jesus?
Behind Mickey
Ronald
Mouse.
McDonald.
No, Mickey Mouse. That's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mickey Mouse is number 1. Superman is number 2. But that also means next to Mickey Mouse, the most iconic symbol in the world isn't a cross. It is a Superman logo and Mickey Mouse ears. That's how big Superman is. That's why this movie is going to make all the money. And that's also one of the reasons why the Snyderverse wasn't well received, because it wasn't originally intended for all ages the way this movie is.
Not at all.
And that to me was part of the problem with that movie.
I think it did a lot to, the Snyderverse mixed with the New 52 did a lot to disservice DC fans in the way that, classic DC is colorful, it's campy, there's hope. Not everything's dark. Yeah, Batman's dark. Not everything has to be.
Not Silver Age Batman.
Well, no, not Silver Age Batman, but
Silver Age Batman was a result
dark.
of that, though.
And then there's been this overcorrection, I think, for Batman since the Dark Knight, as far as the comic, not the movie. Whereas, we have to go as dark and gritty as we possibly can with it.
You think it was probably
that's not Superman?
Do you think it's probably that same failed mentality that's harmed the MCU so much with the shocking success of Guardians of the Galaxy? They're like, all right, paint everything with that brush. And with the success of The Dark Knight and what Nolan did with that grounded, more gritty feel, they're like, all right, paint everything with that brush. And we have this new director coming in to use the brush this time.
Well, I think that was part of it too. So remember, Dark Knight came before Man of Steel. And
Correct.
The reason why the movie's called...
David S. Goyer worked on both of them with the script.
And just to think about it, the term Dark Knight, Man of Steel was created because we were able to pull off Dark Knight as a movie. Like, people went to see the movie because it was called Dark Knight. We already knew it was Batman. The movie was not called Batman: The Dark Knight, even though internationally it probably was. But like with Man of Steel, it wasn't called Superman Man of Steel. It was called Man of Steel because they were kind of, before it became the Snyderverse, a lot of people thought it was going to be the Nolanverse, and they quickly put the kibosh on that one.
That would have been much better,
right? And my biggest problem with
Nolan even produced Man of Steel.
Yeah, exactly.
With Deborah.
So but my biggest problem was that, and this is if you ever read Justice League Avengers, the George Perez, Kurt Busiek, they answered it perfectly. The world of DC, the people are loved, right? The superheroes are loved. Metahumans are loved. Where in the world of Marvel, they're more feared. Thus the X-Men, things like that. Here, they did it the exact, what Snyder did, in my opinion, was he turned Superman into a Watchmen character. And I didn't want that for my Superman.
Just fear that.
And that was my problem with it.
X-Men in the Marvel, really. I mean,
what was that?
I mean, everybody in the Marvel universe loves Fantastic Four and all that. They just don't trust the X-Men or Hulk.
Yeah, but it became a thing in the DC universe. Is not like that. DC universe is supposed to be bright. The only dark place is Gotham.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think this is going to benefit from having.
Amanda Waller is a pretty dark person. She can't stand any of the metahumans.
No, but I'm talking about the world. I'm not talking about the characters.
Oh,
yeah.
I think that Superman has so many of these multi-generational fans, right? Mm-hmm. Which they're gonna remember Christopher Reeve. They're gonna remember, Lois, the Adventures of Lois and Clark. They're gonna remember the Fleischman cartoons. They're gonna remember Justice League animated universe. They're gonna they're not gonna just the multi-generational Superman fans are gonna remember the hopeful Superman. They're not gonna. I think that there's going to be a lot of fans who have a lot of negative things to say about this film, and when it comes down to why are his trunks on the outside of his costume, those people should just be shoveled into a fire. I don't understand,
because they don't understand the purpose behind the trunks.
Right. We don't have the option of telling these people that they're stupid and they should go away. Don't worry, folks. I will take up that banner and I will tell all of them how stupid they are and how far they should go away. But to Mark's point about the MCU and like the Guardians of the Galaxy hitting the way it did and having humor kind of infused into everything, that didn't happen right away. Right away, we weren't getting humor in everything.
That's not true.
It's
Iron Man is full of jokes.
Well, that it is, but it was also
getting humor from the start. It was just well balanced.
But it was well balanced, and I think that what happened is you kind of got into a lane where there were different types of MCU movies, and now
I think everything
everything that doesn't have its own identity falls into like the generic Marvel movie thing.
If you can look at it, it's kind of clear as day. I've been saying this since my earliest times on YouTube, getting less and less criticism as time goes by. But early on with the MCU, these films were made by actual qualified people. Like look at the Phase 1 stuff. Jon Favreau is an experienced director, whether you like his stuff or not. Joe Johnston made Captain America. Freaking Kenneth Branagh made the first Thor movie. Like it's undeniable they are hiring people based on their talent in hopes that their name and their resume would lend to their success. You know what I mean?
That issue came in with the fact that a lot of directors came in with the thought process that they were going to be auteurs within this medium, and Disney, Marvel was like, you can't stray too far. So I think
you lost it as time goes, as it got more interconnected and they got more like targeted toward this one story goal, clearly. But like even James Gunn, he was brought in for his wackiness for Guardians. Like that's what he was brought in for.
He was brought in because of Super.
Yeah, well, definitely because of Super. That was probably but he was just the wacky guy. Slither, I'm sure they were looking at. I mean, he didn't have a huge filmography at that point. He still doesn't have the biggest one, but yeah, they lost that individual identity for these things. When you go to a comic shop, you have to pick and choose what books, characters, and stories you buy, not because of the budget, but because not everything is going to be your taste. They turned the MCU into one taste, and unfortunately, it was one that doesn't taste good to too many people.
I think that is kind of, they're on the upswing on that as far as changing that, because Thunderbolts,
definitely,
while not successful, was a return to form in a lot of ways. I thought Black Widow was a return to form in a lot of ways. Like you got the grounded spy stories with superheroes mixed in. You had the Captain America run, you had Black Widow, you had and in my opinion, Thunderbolts is in that same vein. Like it's the same style of film, and I think that like when Captain America 4 couldn't find really what it even wanted to be as a movie, that's why that movie failed. There are great action sequences in that movie. There's some good concepts. There's some bones there, but like overall, that movie doesn't know what it wants to be. And I think that James Gunn's Superman knows exactly what
I'm actually not seeing Superman till next week, but
Why?
What are you holding off for? Why are you scared?
Don't tell me you have to work.
What are you afraid
Because
of?
there's a time that you come,
then
leave work, man. Call out or something.
No, in all sincerity, Bogsy, why?
Yeah.
I've got to work, and I'm waiting for my friend to come back from out of town.
So work has nothing to do with it. Got it. You're waiting for your friend to come back from out of town because you want to watch it with said friend. Is that what you're waiting on?
Yes.
Okay.
I bet you your friend's gonna watch it.
And don't tell your friend and go watch it again.
Like,
yeah, that's a good idea.
I saw the movie with my family on Tuesday, and you know what? My best friend said, "You know what? I'm gonna have to wait till next week because I can't really do it right now." So I said, "Don't worry, I bought your ticket," and I bought his ticket.
Because you know what's going to happen.
You know what? Because that's being a best friend.
Look,
If
I was
can't
going to see
complain
this
about
movie with my
spoilers.
father. My dad said, "I'm sorry, I can't go," and I said, "Sucks to be you," and went by myself.
Love you, Dad.
Yeah, like literally for months
Mark,
now, I've been like, "Dad, we're gonna go see Superman together," and he's like, "Yeah, I like Superman." I'm like,
Oh,
"All right,
hey, I
cool, we'll do
had that
that."
with
And then he had to
when I watched
cancel
The
on me.
Dark Knight.
I went by myself.
I watched The Dark Knight alone because my friend said, I can't go today. I was like, well, all right, I'll tell you how it is. See you later. I'm going. You're not deterring me from going to this movie.
So did you get all the movie figs? Do you
The
have
what?
them all now or no?
The figures.
Nice.
Sweet.
They
All of
didn't
them.
make a Lois one?
And I did a custom job even on
We need a Rachel Brosnahan.
Luther, yeah. I like your custom on Luther.
Oh,
dope.
Nice.
Hey, spoiler.
Did you make
not a spoiler. I made this myself well before the movie theater came out.
Did
The
you
movie
make
came out.
No, not a
did
spoiler.
they have
not
a
a spoiler.
Lois?
No, didn't you hear what Todd said years ago? Girl figures don't sell. Chill out, Boggs.
Yeah, that's why Todd's toys suck.
Todd's toys are amazing. Hey,
They're great
if they made a
statues,
Lois,
man.
If they made yes, they're not meant for kids to play with. That's right. My kids play with my toys. They come in here and ask, "Can I have Crypto?" I'll get Crypto down. Can I get Supergirl? I'll get Supergirl down. They'll wander off, and they know the rule is when they're done to bring them back. They also have like hundreds of dollars worth of McFarlane Avatar toys. You know, they did the 7-inch scale stuff, but they also did the it's called World of Pandora is the line where the figures are about this big, but everything's scaled. So like the Ekrans are scaled, the horses are scaled, and all that stuff, and there's sets.
Micro
And
machines.
yeah, basically they have all of those, and I keep them in the Avatar 2 popcorn bucket tins, and they're allowed to come get them, but only under 2 conditions. 1, they know to put them all back, and 2, they have to clean up the floor, the living room before they take them out to play with them. So it accomplishes 2 goals, and it works out great. When it's time, baby.
Was that monkey?
Yeah, I'm going to take them here in a little bit. They need mommy needs to get what she wants them to have together. I've got their bag with their food on the table, but you need to get Nugs tennis balls a little squeaky.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did DJ not like the movie?
Mm-mm.
He didn't like it, right?
No, he gave it a 6 out of 10.
Better than 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I can go into and give you his opinion on it, but he can do that himself when he gets back from vacation.
Yeah, because I've been meaning to ask him what was it that he didn't like, because I could understand it. Like in a weird way, I get it. If you didn't like the movie, I know why.
Yeah. Like so, it's
very clearly
it's for the reasons you're thinking of.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Loose narrative structure.
Loose narrative structure, lack of depth in characters. Again, like I'm a Snyderverse fan, and I say that unapologetically. But what I'm not is a Snyderverse psychopath like most of the people these days. I like that serious tone. I like the way that they did more of a character in-depth breakdown on stuff. It worked for me. So there's that whole transition thing going from that tone and really subgenre of superhero movie to this one. It's a massive difference. Like if you just compare the two, this new one feels hollow compared to what we've been doing. It just does, but it doesn't mean it's.
I don't know, man.
It's not their goal.
I had tears of joy watching this thing.
Yeah, but I think what it is that with this one, you said it best earlier. This is more like a part 2, where we don't have a part 1. You have to create part 1 in your mind.
Well, Izzy, like I said about it was like. Okay, everybody knows Superman's origin. We don't need to go through 45 minutes of the movie again. Telling everybody he came from Krypton, his planet was destroyed. When this movie starts, I'm not going to spoil anything or how it starts. We're right into it.
Yeah, it gave you the captions. The captions gave you the answer of where we are with this movie.
And then we're right in the fray. It's Superman.
My biggest gripe of this movie is that it's telling too many stories at the same time. But it's telling a lot of stories, so it is a world building movie, which we'll probably get the answers to in future stories that we don't know if we will or not. Because there's 1 or 2 parts in the movie that I'm like, you know what, we didn't need that.
I think that
I'm happy we got it, but we didn't need it, and we probably would have been able to flesh out certain other things.
How's the movie doing in box office so far?
It's too
They
early.
haven't started
early to
dropping
tell.
reported numbers, but
Yeah.
it did over $20 million in pre-screenings.
Yeah, so it's gonna make all the money.
That's not counting Thursday, just in the pre-screenings.
So
Thursday.
the last I heard, the projections were 130 to 160 mil. But
that was
I
like
think,
2 weeks ago projections. I think
no, that was like 2 days ago, bro.
I read those reports. I'm saying if you go look at the date that you read 2 days ago, it's going to go back a little farther. They've gone down a little bit, but I think that what's his name, Chris Flory pointed out this is going to have tremendous walk-up appeal.
Yeah,
kind of like Minecraft. People were thinking, oh, it's not going to do that.
Well, what are we going to see today? We want to go to the movies. We don't know what we're going to see. What will we see? Superman is going to take a lot of that money.
The Superman's going to take all of that money, and this has
there's no competition besides Jurassic Park.
How to Train Your Dragon still out.
Yeah, but that's not
going for it out of any movie. The best thing that you can hope for with any movie marketing is for us to be talking about it. Is for you go to work and your friend said, "Yo, I saw this Superman movie. You got to check it out." And people are legit talking about it in every aspect of it.
It's kind of hard to stay in these circles because we were all talking about Thunderbolts. And
so how's this? I went to AMC 25 in 42nd Street. I went to AMC 25 and 42nd Street. Right across the street from AMC 25 is Regal Cinema. So they're across the street from each other. They were both playing the movie. Both of them. And it's Times Square, so all the lights and glamour that comes along with it. There was more images of Superman in the movie theater than anything else. So the minute you walk in, poof, there's a Superman poster. You turn around, there's a Superman poster. You look up, literally look up, there's a Superman poster. You know how much Fantastic Four stuff I saw? Maybe 2 things. People are going to go to the movie, and if people are going to go to the movie specifically for Superman,
the Superman movie's out.
Yeah.
Well,
so people are going to go to the movie specifically for Superman, and those people that are just walking into a movie theater because they just want to go to the movies theater, they're going to ask the question, what are we going to watch? We're going to watch Superman. Why? Because everybody that was working there, the workers were wearing Superman t-shirts. The marketing budget they put on this movie was over $200 million, which is insane.
Yeah, that's about average for a movie.
A movie of this scale, but $200 million for marketing.
Izzy, the updated box office projection is 120 low, 130 high, where a week ago it was 130, 170 high.
Doesn't sound accurate to me based on how many people I saw excited at the theater.
This is only domestic.
Only domestic.
I'm gonna say domestic.
I'm still gonna say that I haven't seen that many people in one movie theater in forever. Like on a 2:00 showing.
For context, weeks ago, I just did with no data, just on straight feels alone. Like weeks ago, I said I'm feeling like this movie could potentially be like a sleeper hit, even with it already assuming it's a hit. But I think it could be a sleeper hit beyond that, and I'm calling it 1.2 million. Because $1 million movies, it's pretty much the gold standard for success these days. What people unanimously call success. I just think this movie's going to do amazing.
I think it'll crack $1 billion. But like you were saying earlier about,
I'm certain it's going to crack $1 billion. At this point, it's going to crack $1 billion.
So you're saying about this movie being hollow and the Snyderverse giving us more intricate character depth.
What do they succeed at?
I will say that I think that there was a fair amount of depth given to all the characters in the Snyderverse. I just think that once you get that deep with the characters, if I don't care about Clark and Lois being together, then what does it matter how deep we dug? When this surface level, immediately there's chemistry on screen between the two actors. Immediately they go in I can say that unequivocally. You want to argue about Christopher Reeve all day, that's fine. I don't it's a matter of opinion. A matter of fact is that Rachel Brosnahan is the greatest Lois Lane we've ever seen.
Terry Hatcher.
No, you're out of your mind. Terry Hatcher had.
He's the hottest. I'll give her that much.
Terry Hatcher, and I won't even give her the hottest.
Oh,
Brosnahan's
she's that
hot
hot.
as well, and she's hot and
they're real and they're spectacular.
Oh
I like
man, she's
Rachel.
great. Terry Hatchers weren't real, and they were only great for about 3 years, and then she fell off.
I don't know.
so
Desperate
hard.
Housewives was pretty solid in my book, and that was years later. But to that point, to that chemistry, to that stuff, I think a lot of that's granted with this movie by us because of our wild familiarity.
The last Lois Lane was so terrible. You can't.
I'm not talking about the comparison of Lois Lane to Lois Lane. I'm talking about the chemistry connection between the characters that you were mentioning.
I think a lot of that is because the Snyderverse had none of that chemistry.
No, I think a lot of it is granted for this film because we go into it with all of this established. The first time we see any true interaction, and again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers here. We see a brief true interaction between Superman and Lois in one place, and then we get to the other one. The scene from the trailer is like the next time we see it. But beyond that,
I'll give you that they hit the ground running.
We don't even have interaction between the two characters much in the movie. So where do you
that interview scene where they're actually a couple in a relationship?
That's it. We get that. So beyond that, we don't actually. It's a 2 hour run, 2 hour 9 minutes with credit. So there's not any time in this movie that is lent to building these chemistry moments, to setting up these dynamics. And I said this in the spoiler-free review. All of it is granted as we have been set into this universe, and we didn't start this universe, which I think
I don't believe it's granted. I believe you're taking it for granted.
No, I think it worked.
I think it's there, and if it's not there, you can't see it.
It's there. There's scenes. There's definitely multiple scenes. Obviously, the interview scene, but don't forget the scene where the space monsters battling the battle in the background, which I thought was one of the best scenes ever I've seen.
Don't spoil.
No, I'm talking. It's the photo. Remember the photo, the first photo drop where the space
where he's putting on his boots.
Where he's putting on his boots.
Photo of him putting on his boots with the thing.
That scene is great. I love that scene.
That was like arguably the best chemistry scene in the entire thing.
Exactly. That was them talking things out and stuff like that. I think these
characters had great chemistry together.
So I think
yeah. But I'm saying like the chemistry was granted. We didn't watch them build to it. We didn't have to. That's not where we are in the timeline.
We already know that they're a thing.
We're not watching them meet. We're not watching
them build to it because they showed it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just there. It just is, and that's how it should be for a character like Superman at this point. I think that's a strength of the movie, but I don't think it's comparable to a script or an intention of where you're going to introduce them and see how they come to be. Like that's a different depth of character than just we put an established Clark and an established Lois into the relationship together, and you just get to watch them interact versus watch them come to be.
I think that there's more. It's more granted already if you're putting in the building blocks of that relationship. If the meet cute is in the script, it's more granted that you're going to feel a chemistry between those characters. If you're just going to go ahead and put those characters in a room together and say, now you've been in a relationship for 3 months, react to each other like you've been in a relationship for 3 months.
I think their chemistry together was phenomenal. I'm not debating that. I'm talking about like the presence of how it was granted versus worked for, creating that I don't know, like there's no like the depth of storytelling in this new movie. I don't even see how it's debatable that it's intentionally less deep. Like it was never their goal.
Definitely less deep.
That's all I was saying.
I feel like it's less of a narrative and more of a collection of character vignettes. And I think that is more, where you're saying like it's a little more surface level.
Yes, it's the character depth. Is how I
don't. I think that it's more. It's a little bit shallow when it comes. Hey Matt, see you later, bud.
See you, Matt.
So I think it's. With the characters, right? It's like they're not going in depth as much as to what each character is, but they are very much exploring the relationships between the characters. And the relationship between these characters and how they react to the wider events. And I think that it's not so much like, we get those notations of Lois about like how she grew up and what her personality was as a kid, and like, maybe doesn't gel well with the
even though it's not mentioned at all. It's not mentioned at all, but like her even in her relationship with like the general with her dad, Like she brings up something about this is how I feel about relationships and stuff like that. Really briefly, what I think I like that they did was her role in this universe was really cool. I think
super cool,
right?
Super capable, super hot.
Like who she is in this world.
It's like what Emma. It's like what Emma said with her review, and I love Lois. She was a straight girl boss, but it wasn't no Mary Sue, nothing. It was just like this is actually Lois from the comics. Everything that Lois did in this movie, not only have you seen her do it in the comic books, you expect her to be capable of everything she did in this movie.
And she was no damsel in distress at all.
No, quite the opposite.
Yeah. You know, there wasn't nothing like that in the
movie. I love her character, and I would say she's a traditional girl boss, not this modern girl boss. Like correct. And a lot of the judgment of this movie with James Gunn being attached to it from the Snyder Bros is about how woke it was going to be. It's not that kind of. I think there's definitely social commentary, and there's a responsibleness to discussing how he should exercise himself within, you know, a geopolitical conflict. But it certainly doesn't take a side. It certainly doesn't make a stand.
Keep in mind when this was written, when this script was finished, before anyone makes any crazy assumptions. And also keep in mind this narrative that popped up in the last week of this political side of people are mad that the movie is woke and political. That was all manufactured.
Oh, of course.
On the red carpet. Like the footage of it happening was this piece of shit reporter from Variety asking this stupid loaded question to cast and stuff. And James Gunn's response to his question, even though Nathan Fillion's response was, guys, it's just a movie. Sean Gunn's response was a little more like easy, like kind of played into it a little more. And James Gunn's response was, dude, I'm not here to judge anybody. This movie's literally for everyone. Like that was James's response, how he sees this film when it comes to it being political or woke. He thought he had a wincing face because he knows what movie he made. And he said, this movie's literally for everyone, thinking it's stupid. But because of that stupid, idiot, lowbrow reporter, that footage got picked up and spread and became the media cycle. Dean freaking Cain himself was on Piers Morgan yesterday talking about how he's excited to see this movie and he's looking forward to it. And he hoped that it doesn't get plagued by like the modern Hollywood shenanigans that have kind of been running people away from the box office. So Dean Cain was even misquoted with his intentions of the movie and what he thinks about the movie. So it's absolutely just manufactured BS.
But it's not just coming from the red carpet. The people that have been against this movie from the start have
that woke narrative thing in the last week is what I was talking about.
It definitely blew up off of that.
Yeah, that hit the cycle and everything. It all came down to that red carpet thing with that Variety guy question. Like I literally watched it happen and even went back, and other people have even made commentary on it. Like you can see where it happens and how the unfortunate social media sphere works. You know, it is what it is. You want polarizing stuff.
I don't think it's going to do anything to hurt this movie at the box office.
No, because
I think anybody that would see that and make a judgment call to not see it, we're not going anyways. It's kind of
not that.
You know those hashtag wallet closed people?
Yeah, they weren't going to buy anything.
They were never going to go see it anyways. And they're also, you know what they're going to do? They're going to watch the movie on pirate format like they were to begin with, because they're going to watch it. They just look silly.
It's literally going to be in a year on Max. These people are going to be like, "Hey, did you end up seeing that Superman? It was pretty good." Like, all right, dude.
When you
already paid your $5 for the month.
Yeah, right? When their comments are kind of gone in the thread, they'll start changing their tune and disassociating from such things. I think that the James Gunn humor would definitely be a problem if he MCU'd the DCU, but he's been adamant, even in most recent interviews, pointing out that the Supergirl film will not look and feel like the Superman movie. The Lantern show will not look and feel like the Supergirl movie, that they are leaning hard into and paying attention to the need for the subgenres in the DCU, which that is the secret to making any of this ultimately work proper.
So here's the question. How is it an MCU humor when James Gunn is the director? It's James Gunn's humor that's being applied
I
into
agree.
a DC film.
I
You also
understand.
can't
I
blame James Gunn for the
100%
bad
agree
humor
with
of the
you, Izzy,
MCU.
but it's easy to understand what he's
I
saying.
get
about
that.
the question. Yeah, it's MCU. MCU humor is defined by James Gunn. MCU
Yeah.
humor is just a parroting of James Gunn humor. So it's the
I
same.
don't necessarily think that that's 100% true, because when you look at the humor that's infused into the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, right? There's also, like, you look at the things that make a James Gunn movie a James Gunn movie. Goofy humor is definitely going to be there. A little bit of sophomore humor. There's going to be some ultra violence thrown in there as well.
On random,
There's going to be heart to it as well, and there's going to be excessive amounts of music thrown in. I think that Suicide Squad got the absolute Guardians of the Galaxy treatment,
like an R-rated.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Until this Superman, and I'm going to say something, and Mark, I know already from your response to me thinking it's the best Superman on screen that you're going to have some judgments for me here. But before this movie came out, James Gunn's Suicide Squad was the best DC movie that was ever released. It's a better movie that has more comic book
all time,
accuracy.
I mean? Like of all time?
Yes, it is. It is in service more of the Suicide Squad.
Well, I'm going to tell you now, bro, let me pause you for a second. Like, I'm probably the only diehard Suicide Squad fan that you know that have like comics, movies. Like, I freaking love the Suicide Squad. So I'm not mad to hear that. I might not agree, but that makes my heart extremely happy.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's probably one thing about Suicide Squad.
I'm a diehard Rick Flag fan. I've been like trying to get the hashtag raise the flag trending to get Joel Kinnaman back in some multi-universe.
He ain't come back.
He's so dead.
His daddy, who's only 3 years older than him, is in this movie. So
I can't wait to watch Richard Montgomery Flag put hands on Peacemaker in season 2, because
could they have at least dyed his hair gray? That's the one gripe I have with Superman.
I think that was done on purpose.
Doesn't look old enough.
No, it was done because of shooting schedule problems that they couldn't get around. Originally intended to be a grayer, but they couldn't get around the shooting schedule. So,
which is funny. I like it.
What is it, Bogsy?
Any of these figures from the movie?
What?
I don't buy the McFarlane figures.
He's allergic to quality.
I'm allergic to hip joints that don't pivot. I'm allergic to there being no upper thigh rotation, no bicep rotations.
I have one issue with the Suicide Squad movie, which is
my
personal problem.
Joint.
I have a personal problem with the Suicide Squad movie. One problem, just one.
You don't like fun?
No, they killed off a character that I think they should have never killed off.
Captain Boomerang. Yeah,
that's my
right
one
with you.
problem. Because he was the one guy in the comic book that always survived.
All right, but let me ask you.
That was it. That was it. That was me.
Izzy, I'm going to ask you a really hard, serious question now. What has Jai Courtney ever been good in?
I don't care. I just love Captain Boomerang, and I actually like that version of Boomerang too.
I loved this Superman movie. I think
the Divergent trilogy.
It is very good. The Divergent trilogy.
Yeah, he was in there. Jai Courtney was in there. He was one of the trainers.
That movie series is awful.
Hey, you asked. I'm answering.
You
didn't ask what movie.
We're getting a hardcore debate into underserviced.
You did not ask what movie did he play in that was a good movie. You said what movie was he good in?
How could you be good in that?
Yeah, go watch and see. He did it. He was good with Bruce Willis and Die Another Day, and that movie was not good either.
Die Another Day.
Remember that helicopter crash at the end as they're falling next to it? That shot was amazing.
I saw that movie in theaters too.
Oh, that'd have been.
That was a good theater movie.
It felt like a cheap direct-to-video Eurofilm version of a Die Hard movie.
I just love the Bruce Willis phoning in acting.
How many kids is he going to end up having? Well, John McClane. We had a dude live free or die hard.
What happened to the other kid? What happened to the other kid?
She was on the phone call. Remember they called her that one time in the beginning.
No, my personal favorite will always be Die Hard with a Vengeance. Him and Samuel Jackson
going ham. Yeah, I love that film.
He didn't say "Hey Zeus." He said "Hey Zeus."
What, do I look Puerto Rican to you? Oh, that was great.
Let me ask you this, Drew. This is
Great.
something that going in blind, I have my concerns and criticisms, and I would basically go get a snack, man. Based on the
all right, I will get
the trailers, I came up with it. Like when it came to depth of character and storytelling, I compared the Superman movie. Going in blind, I was expecting a formula similar to what they do with like Mission Impossible, where they have, we want to do these action scenes, so let's write a story and let's make sure they're included. We're starting with these pieces and we'll connect them somehow, kind of like with the Mario movie.
Corn Sweat came in and he's like, I want to hang off a plane.
Well,
they were like, well, I guess we'll have to make that
hang
happen.
on for a second. Like with the Mario movie, like we want a viral clip of, you could grab one, put in the microwave, bud. Viral clip of the Mario Kart. We want viral clip from Luigi's Mansion. They have these certain video game elements they wanted, and that's how Mario felt, like a series of clips almost. And I said, like, the James Gunn movie will have heart, but it won't be any more heart than you'll get if you just see the scene in an Instagram reel or a YouTube short. It will have heart, but that's all that will need to be seen to really develop that moment. And that's kind of how the movie felt with its pacing to me, and with its scene-to-scene storytelling aspect.
Yeah.
It felt like a series of those moments that were strung together, like with how fast and how quick it can shift.
You know how a lot of people said that this movie feels like a comic book?
Yeah.
It feels like a comic book because it feels like, and I think this is an easier transition, it feels like a TV series to me, where the first, like, if you cut this movie up into 4 parts, you could easily watch it like that, into a 4-part TV series, like 4 30-minute shows, because that's how it's built. And that's part of the problem that it had, I think, where it's like you had this scene and then we go to another part, then we go to another part, and everything's like, what's cool is that there is a connecting tissue, so there is a transitioning to the next part, which I think is fine. But I think you want to be like here in this world, you want to be here in this world, in this part, and then it goes there. So then you got the very opening scene, you got the kaiju scene, you got the scene with Metamorpho, all this stuff, which is all part of the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away. And then you got finally the final battle kind of scene. All that has, if you could easily watch this movie, pause it, go through your thing, and then come back, and it just feels like a TV series. And that's how this movie felt to me.
Well,
it's like a comic book. I don't
necessarily disagree with that sentiment, and I don't necessarily disagree with Mark's sentiment either, that it narratively, there's not a whole lot of through line through the movie. But emotionally, there was. I think that what it wasn't. Who is the reviewer? I want to give him credit. Charlie, what's that guy's? What does he do? I can't remember his channel now.
Guy from the Chocolate Factory?
No, other Charlie.
Really?
But anyway, he basically described it as, a week in the life of Superman.
It really was.
There are different episodes that he goes throughout this week, and I feel like it's there's some are better than others. Mm-hmm. Some could use a little bit more meat on their bones, but then you don't know what was cut out of this movie where it still holds that emotional through line. And I think that's the strength of a James Gunn directed project and a James Gunn written project, is that he's going to get that emotional through line. It's not going to matter so much where the narrative through line is, as long as it all makes sense in the end, which it does. There's no like giant plot holes in this movie.
There's one, but I can tell you offline.
I think just because they don't
put in the
tell you everything,
I'll put it in the private chat.
Yeah, I just think that there's not a whole lot of, oh, what happened? What? I missed that? Huh? What? Wait, what? And you get that with a lot of these comic book properties when they're adapted, because there are a lot of things that as comic book fans we just know and we take for granted that the general audiences don't. And I think that they rely on that a lot, especially with the MCU being as big as it is now. Like, why are we going to waste screen time introducing somebody who's been in 14 other fucking movies already?
I agree with Kevin on that one.
Yeah, me too. I also said that coming out of it, that this film just gets right into it.
That's just 2 weeks, isn't it?
At this point in the history of the human race, everyone knows a certain amount about Superman, and the certain amount that everyone knows, whether you read comics or not, it's the same stuff that everyone knows. You know, he comes from Krypton. You know, he was raised in Kansas. You know, he's a reporter. There's no reason to spend any time in the movie teaching the audience about that.
You don't need to. I haven't seen the movie, like I said, but I've seen Superman movies. You do not need to do the origin.
Here's the thing: is all of that stuff is still in here. It just doesn't have,
and it's been changed.
Explanation.
And some of it's been changed.
Leave it, Izzy. Leave it, Izzy.
Sure.
I swam.
But I think as far as that goes, like everything that you know about Superman that you expect to see in a Superman movie, like as far as the origin goes, is in here. They just don't give it its own scene. Like it's just like little mentions in the interview scene. It's little things when you're being introduced to the Fortress of Solitude. Like,
I describe it as not taking your audience. I described it as not taking your audience's intelligence for granted. Like,
so again, you know what it is. So you know how in the comic book when there's something that you probably need some clarification on, that they put a caption with the little they put the little asterisk. That's what it is. And the director James Gunn is making the assumption that you know this already because Superman's been around that long, which you should know at this point. Most people know everything about Superman already. There's not much to not know about Superman, to the point that they could do a movie where Superman and Lois are already in a relationship.
I think that it's more it would be more of a disservice for this film to take time to stop and give you a Mr. Terrific origin. To just be like, this is Mr. Terrific. This is what he does, and not even explain
you know how bad that they would like.
Or the rest of them, for that matter.
You know how big of a disservice it would be to a character like Michael Holt if you tried to stop and origin him in someone else's movie. Like that dude's got such a complex, deep, and heartbreaking origin. It's insane.
I don't think one of my favorite lines in the movie was they're not circles. Circles are two-dimensional.
Well, yeah. Mark, let's be honest. How many people within the comic book world know who Mr. Terrific's origin is?
Not as many as they should. He's super prevalent, but he's not an A-list character despite being in A-list stuff all the time.
I've been reading comics for 30 years. I've read several comics with Mr. Terrific in it. I could not tell you his origin story.
I've been reading comics since
Genius Tech guy loses his wife and kid, falls in deep depression, has to come out of it. You go back. He first appears in the Spectre comics, even like he's the third smartest man in the entire DC universe.
That's probably what we know. That's we know.
Arguably, in my opinion, possibly the first smartest. But he's present like all of Superman's stuff for a long time now. He's been big present in JSA since the Jeff Johns stuff. TK.
Oh, and I know the character. I just couldn't point you an origin story. Like
but look out! Like, you got to check out? I don't know if got a controversial writer here, but Tom King did a Strange Adventures maxi series, 12 issues. And Michael gets brought in to investigate the events of what had happened. So you get into and unpack like his origin.
About the Iran Thanagar War.
Yes, talk about war crimes, my man. Like
count me on Iran Thanagar War anytime that comes up. I like my wars between the Kree and the Skrull. Thank you.
That's fair enough.
My thing about Mr. Terrific in this movie is that like he's got comic accurate costume.
It's a 100.
Yeah. And
not a thing is changing.
Guy Gardner's got comic accurate haircut. And I don't know which one is more ridiculous. His Fair Play jacket or Guy's haircut.
There's nothing ridiculous about the Fair Play
jacket.
Jacket.
Stupid.
Explain why.
Because it's ugly.
What, the haircut?
What? The Fair Play jacket.
I love the Fair Play jacket.
It's just like the haircut. You either love it or you hate it.
His hair doesn't say Fair Play.
I'm more like the T in his face. I'm more like, how does he get the T in his face thing?
World's smartest man. He knows how to use super
Spirit gum.
He used the same glue from the Meatballs movie.
Maybe.
And he just can't take them off now. He just can't take
that jacket is stupid.
But it's fitting to his character.
That jacket is it creates a suit. There's a level of safety to it, which you can get into, like the functionality of it versus just being sleeveless in a battle. But there's also a reason why he rocks the fair play, and it goes back to the golden age of comics.
Yeah, it's definitely a reason.
There's a lot of things that go back.
Keep in mind, Mr. Terrific is a legacy character. It's not
the original. Right?
Terry Sloan is the original Mr. Terrific, and Terry Sloan is the reason why Michael Holt rocks the fair play. He's a legacy character. It goes into the actual motivation of Michael Holt. It's fantastic.
To look like a break dancer?
You got to do what you got to do. And sometimes you got to serve somebody, and that's just what it is.
He has good sneakers.
He did, didn't he?
He doesn't walk anywhere. He floats everywhere. Why does he need good sneakers? Is that why
sick.
he floats? So he doesn't fuck up his sneakers?
No, he's
he's
the inventor. Wait. He's inventor of the chair from the Wall-E movie.
Yeah.
He creates a Wall-E chair.
It's all connected.
I argue that he should be a much fatter individual if that's the case.
It's like
Izzy, when you brought up chair, it reminded me of the comic you just picked up.
Yes, he is.
So, Drew, Izzy just picked a comic up. Speaking of chairs, called Lobo in the Chair. And
Lobo in the Chair, yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious.
What is Lobo in the Chair?
Please tell me it's the Mobius chair.
I got it right here somewhere. Let me pull it up.
It's so funny. I'm like, what
the last time I saw the Mobius chair, we ended up with 3 Jokers. And
look at this. The name of the book is actually called Lobo on the Chair.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is that a one shot?
I don't even know. I don't think so. No, yeah, it's a one shot. It's a special.
That's funny. That's great.
I haven't even opened it yet. Let me just see this for a second. I've never seen this comic book before.
Yeah, James Gunn humor is throttled down in this compared to something like Guardians or Suicide Squad. There's still humor in this, but there's always been humor in Superman stuff. This has definitely got more than the aggressive.
I don't think it's overplayed at all, though.
I don't either. I'm hypercritical of Superman stuff. I'm a fan of the Snyderverse stuff, and I think it worked. It's definitely. I'd be lying if I said there's not a lot in there, but I think it just worked.
I think I more chuckled at a lot of the comedy that was kind of just implied through the scenes. It wasn't like one-liners for yucks, you know what I mean? It was like there were just things about those one-liner jokes are in there and they hit like I more than not. But there are just certain situations that made me laugh in this movie that weren't like super duper, hokey.
Yeah, if you go in there with the mindset, I don't want to hear any humor in this movie. Or I don't want to hear a lot of humor. You're going to do nothing but notice humor through it. We go in there knowing there's going to be humor moments in it, and that way, potentially, you'll have more of a mind's eye to did it work? Not was it there or not? It's there. Now you just have to think, I wonder if this works. It's not meant to get a gut rolling laugh from you every time. It's meant just to set a tone a lot of the times. Like this isn't meant to be overly serious.
So, Mark, what you're saying is he doesn't force it. It's just when it's there, it fits.
Didn't say it wasn't forced or not forced, but it's there. That's mileage is gonna vary for people.
Well, it's like
that's fine.
Like critics of Marvel movies at this point would say, "Oh, Love and Thunder was too many jokes. I want to go back.
Too many jokes.
Well, Ragnarok was a perfect film, but it's a different movie.
I like Ragnarok.
Everyone likes Ragnarok. I called it from day one. This is the death of the MCU here.
Here's the thing.
See, I like Ragnarok.
Let's even say Ragnarok. Ragnarok has too many jokes. Well, they need to go back to what they were doing in movies like The Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier has fucking jokes in it. There's jokes in it. There are jokes in that movie. You laugh at that movie. There are things to laugh at.
You don't think of it as comedy.
No, but there are moments in that movie that make me genuinely laugh out loud.
The hat and glasses scene, the disguise.
So as of right now, it has over 250,000 verified rating reviews, and it's still sitting at 95%. That's impressive.
And all of them were Mark. Just kidding.
No, I haven't put my review on Rotten
Tomatoes. No, there's at least one. There's one from me.
think there are genuinely
and I
there are
also,
reasons not to
encourage
like
everybody, like, you don't have to be a critic or any of this. You can go to Rotten Tomatoes and just leave your review on there. And I encourage anybody to do it. Like, honest review, no matter how you thought it, good, bad, in the middle. Just
Is it a public forum?
I don't think there's a public forum. I think that you can just post reviews.
Is Rotten Tomatoes open for the public to review on it?
So yes, it's open to the public to review, but you have to verify your ticket. So you have to actually prove that you went to the movie in some way.
That's only if you want to be like, you can go review it. Anyone can review it. And when you go to Rotten Tomatoes, that score that you always see is not the verified score. It's a compilation of all score
combined. Yes.
And then if you click on the all score, you can then separate it if you want to go deeper into the analytics to the verified versus all score.
Yep. Hi, Drew.
Hi, Vogs.
Missed you, buddy. I missed you, buddy.
I'm around. You gotta find me.
I know.
Find me at the theater watching Superman again. Probably.
You're the president.
You gonna see it again?
I'm gonna see it. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing it again.
You're the president.
Now I'm at the point.
I have to find you.
Now I'm at the point that I saw it twice. I saw some Easter eggs here and there that I liked. And now I can wait until it's on Max, which will probably be in 2 months.
Hey, Drew.
What's up, buddy?
You know how I'm a Rogue fan like crazy? Look what I picked up the other day.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
I have been slowing down a lot on my comic purchases, but I plan on spending a fair amount of money on this movie theater.
Yeah, I'm at that point. If I'll see it in the $5 movie now.
Well, I'm supposed to go see it with my brother.
I gotta kill this. I'm about to go drop the dogs off around the corner at the kennel and load up the car.
That's right. We're gonna be talking about spoilers now in
the backstage.
The backstage.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil Dogs as soon as you sign us off.
It's fine.